All right, welcome back. So we're gonna continue from what we have done so far. So we created the bot and the bot is now happily living. When I was talking to you about some exception, right? I figured out the reason. Now let me just tell you that. So I didn't take a break. I was troubleshooting this. It's not a technical mistake. What we have done was when we created the transfer intent, transfer to agent intent, we have given something like connect me to an agent, human agent, transfer to an agent. All those things are actually it's event handling exceptions. Like there are built-in event handling, like connect me to an agent. The system itself will understand, okay, he is looking for an agent transfer. So system is capable of doing that themselves. And we created that flow in the message flow. So it takes that and goes away. So it triggers that internal utterances. So when I change that, I added some additional utterances there like real, human, live, those things which is not even conflicting with the existing stuff. Then it started working properly. Let me quickly show you that part and then we'll move on. So right now again I'm refreshing the board and then instead of saying real agent, what happens when I say real agent, it identifies, okay, it's actually a built-in action in me. So let me usually trigger that particular target. That's where it happened. But now we don't have that problem. So instead of saying new agent, I will simply type live. Okay, so I can initiate hi. And when it presented with me, they have two choices, right? In the second option, I'll say live. Or I type human. It properly transfers me, saying that let me transfer to human agent. The human agent also can see what is the chat history of the user, right? So I'll get the context. So this is the mistake. So it's a built-in complication. It's not about our logical mistake. So instead of that, if your utterances are naturally matching with the built-in utterances. Built-in utterance means it makes sense to trigger that exception. So it went to that exceptional phase and then asked, okay, do you want to transfer? That's the only thing. Rest everything was 100% correct. We don't have anything wrong. Cool. So let's continue. Now is the interesting part about integration. So I always believe in when I say contact center.
Abdul, one point
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah,
As you said, we have a default exceptions that are built in
yeah,
Genesys.
yeah.
That we can have any document kind of what and all we have the
Okay. I don't have the answer, but I can get you. Document for default exception. The exception can be controlled here. Okay, the event stuff like error event handover. This is available here. What we were hitting is this one. Okay, agent escalation. So this is the built-in stuff, agent escalation. The intent, sorry, utterance, what we entered, it was somehow matching with this. Like I want to talk to an agent. So connect me to an agent. It was matching with this, and then it triggers the
okay.
agent
Here you
escalation.
also have right on and off. If we click on that off, then this will be not handled, right?
Exactly. So we can try
Yeah.
that, but I need that proper thing. So okay, any exception comes, let it go to the agent because our logic is that way. So other than the
Got it.
logic what I built, anything exception comes, let me transfer to agent. Okay,
Okay.
so now, what I'm saying is, if I'm too fast, you guys ask me to slow down. Okay. So I believe any contact center training, contact center wouldn't stand alone. It will always have a dependency of a sales CRM. By the way, CRM means customer record manager. If you guys are new to that, that is a place where I keep all my registered user, all my customer details, customer data will be in a CRM, Salesforce, then Microsoft Dynamics, ServiceNow. All these tools are basically a CRM plus ticketing system. So in that, when I am a bank, when someone creates an account, a bank account with me, I will have their data registered in the CRM. So let me just show you the Salesforce CRM interface. This is a Salesforce interface. Everybody can request Salesforce trial, which is 1 month free trial. They also offer developer option. In the developer, you get unlimited, like there won't be any limit. So in the CRM, you might be new to this or you might not be. Only two things I am doing right now. I need to add a contact, which is like a registered user. So let me go to the contact section. You can always click the services tab here, but it's highly customizable. All these menus, left hand side, everything you can customize. But I'll go with the default. I can literally add a new user. So when I add a new user, you will see a small, I think my session, yeah, a small thing over here, right, called premium customer or not. This is one of the customization I have done. You can do that in the advanced settings. You can add extra field. So when I check the premium customer thing, that customer interaction will be handled in a different way. He shouldn't have to wait in the queue. It can go to a directly with an agent, those type of things. But I'm not discussing that now right now, but we can have that type of customization. But default one, you don't see this option, but I'm ignoring that. I am just creating a new user. You simply type first name, last name, then account name. Usually when you add a new user, by default, account name will be mandatory. But in my case, it's not mandatory. Only first name and last name is mandatory. How I made that change? I just added first name and last name. Usually in your account, if you open, you will see account name is mandatory. You need to create an account in the sense like where you can have a global account like general customers. That will be your account name. Then you can tag the user under that account. That's it. But I remove that mandatory thing, which I will show you how to remove that, by the way. Then only thing I am looking for here is the phone number. I am adding a properly configured E164 number. This is a number I'm going to add. Hit save. I'm not saving it because I already have a sample user, Rain Jassim here. So let's open his properties. I check the premium customer checkbox there. Then his first name and last name and a mobile number I have added. So entire contact center flow I am triggering based on the mobile number. So I just have to worry about only this mobile number. This is my personal number, time being I have added, so that when I trigger, when I interact with the chatbot and the customer interact with the chatbot, if he gives this mobile number as the input, then all the logic will be in a different way. It can go and do all data action. So to do that on the lab, you need a Salesforce CRM trial with the account added. When you add the account, account means contact added. When you add the contact, the account name is mandatory. You can get rid of from that by going to the setup object manager. So you need to go to Salesforce CRM object manager, which is available here in the setup, advanced setup. Object manager. So within the object manager, we will see the contact page. Sorry, I think I went to a different place. Let me just review. Object manager, select contact. Okay, then contact page layout. Yeah, that's right. We are right. Contact page layout. And there will be a contact page layout. This is how we customize the CRM. I'm just giving a small intro. Our training is not related to Salesforce. I am not a Salesforce expert. Here we see this is what I enable, premium customer thing. But for that, you need to create a checkbox also. Then I need to see this one. If I click the account name, by default, this will be required. That means when you add a contact in the normal interface, they will ask you, okay, please add an account. Since I remove this, when I add a contact, I don't see that option. Like I can simply add a contact without anything. I can simply go to contacts and then add a contact. Only first name, last name is mandatory. So these fields can be controlled in the advanced interface. That's how all the CRM works, right? Whatever way your customer is requesting, that CRM administrator can do all that stuff, that type of customization. So in my case, that's the only customization I have done. Also this particular premium customer checkbox. Now, but by the way, the premium checkbox doesn't have to do anything in this case. So all I have is one CRM with a user. So go to contacts. I have a user there. Contact in the sense it's an external registered customer. Then I can also have cases when the users start. I'm running a bank, right? So they will have a lot of operational issues like transaction issues, debit card issues, PIN resets, stuff like that. So for them, they usually calls me. When they calls me right now, I have a voice IVR. Somebody will pick from the agent side. They will literally go to the cases and they will say, okay, let me create a case for you. What is your case? Let me say, okay, it's a new case. And priority will be, let's keep it high. I can ask customer what type of priority. Then contact name. So contact name, if the registered means it will already appear here. I just need to select Rain Jassim. Account, no problem. It's this thing optional. Then subject I am adding. I have an issue with my UPI transaction. Then I can add a means customer is saying, okay, let UPI transaction issue. So customer reported, okay, I have this issue. I just added the subject and other thing. If I send this option, it will trigger an email also. I don't want that. I'll just save it. So new case created. Now this case will be going to the queue, means the support queue, right? There will be a support department for every company. They will be picked up this case, and they will go, okay, there is a user, Ryan Jessim, and he is having a problem called UPI related issues. And some technical guy will be working on this. Some guy from the backend, the customer support team, not the contact center I'm saying, maybe they have a different department to deal with the transaction issues. Somebody will be working, or somebody from the contact center itself is working. The way they, the more they work, they will usually add some comments here. So this is the comment section in Salesforce where I can add comment. Okay, suppose I am the customer support executive or the troubleshooting engineer. Verify the account. Everything seems to be okay. Escalating to next level. This is what the comment I have added. I saved it. So I just replicated a small customer support scenario. Customer calls them and they open a case. I have the customer as a registered customer in my CRM, and he has that particular user is having a case tied up with him. That's where this is coming in, right? That particular case is associated with Ryan Jessim, and a lot of other guys will be adding their own case updates. It goes on, and then senior escalated engineer will be adding his case. We are done. Now, as the end user, he wants to know what is the case status. So again, he can call someone in the contact center and ask, okay, what is the case status? So that contact center agent has to open this page and go there and tell them. So this is what my business problem. This is the problem I got as an architect. And I was thinking, okay, how can I automate using a bot flow? So instead of that, external user calls the contact center and asking the agent to get the case update, I can build a bot. It can do this task. So this is what my problem, and I'm going to solve that problem with the chatbots now. Are we good on the problem part, guys? Yes, no, or you guys are not there? Okay.
Yes, we are there.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So let's again build the logic on our, everything based on the same bot. I'll go to my case transfer task. Right now I have a case transfer task, right? So it just says you are at the case transfer task. So this is what I'm looking for. I need to interact with the user, right? So let's start building that flow. Okay. So when I reach this point, customer is interacting. You need to think yourself as a customer. You are interacting. You selected the second option. So in our chatbot, you are selecting, first option, checking the case status. So of course, for checking the case status, I need some kind of input, right? I should know about your case number, or I should know about your mobile number, or some or the other thing. So in this example I have taken, I will collect the mobile number from the customer. Okay. So I need to have the mobile number from the customer. That's where I'm doing. Once I have the mobile number, I need to send that mobile number to my Salesforce CRM to take whether it is an actual user or not. So here comes the importance of APIs. So before going to the building the flow, I need to have that interaction configured so that only I can fetch the data. So when it comes to API, the people who doesn't know about what is API, it's a simple thing. Basically, you have your Salesforce here. Genesys CRM here. Genesys Contact Center here, and your Salesforce CRM there. And this Genesys wants to take some data from Salesforce. We use it, the application programming interface, or API. So when one system wants to talk to another system, not through the traditional way. What is traditional way? So the traditional way of accessing Genesys is like logging into the page and interacting with the Genesys. Salesforce is like logging into the login.salesforce.com and interacting with the Salesforce. That is the traditional way, but I don't want that way. I need one program can access the other program and fetch data and update data. This is what my task. So to do these type of things, we usually leverage API. That's a simple form of API definition. Guys who don't understand what is API, this is the definition. Anyone who knows that, I'm sorry about it. There's a simple explanation I can give. So Genesys will be, in this particular scenario, Genesys will be interacting with Salesforce, sending a mobile number, collecting the username, case number, all those data. Like I send the mobile number to Genesys, mobile number to Salesforce, and then ask Salesforce, hey, give me this mobile number associated contact name and also associated case details. This is what my task is. So to do that, I need to always refer what is Genesys API, Salesforce API. There is a link available here. In between, any questions, guys? Salesforce query language, no question. So first we will set up the Postman to do that. Salesforce will say, okay, you can send query request to me in a specific format, like SQL for SOQL. SOQL means simple object, Salesforce object query language, like select something from Salesforce. So I have carried out two specific operation and I hard coded that in our document here, which is this. Okay. So let me copy this and we'll explain with the help of a notepad. So this is one type of request. So the endpoint will be your URL. Okay, URL means where you are actually logging into. So you will be logging into a URL called speed-speed 2631, which is like the trial account. When you sign up for trial account, so something like this you will get. So this particular value, the complete URL is your initial portion. So you have the URL there. Then service data version will be 60. I will show you how I got the 60 and all. Then query, I'm sending a query. This is a query. Select ID, case number, subject, description from case. That means there will be a case. From that case, there will be a lot of data associated, like case description, case title, a lot of things will be associated. But all I am interested is, I need the case ID, case number, subject, and description from the case, where the contact font is this. The %2b nothing but plus symbol. Okay, so it's a URL encoded format. When it comes to URL encoded, you need to deal with conversion. You can do that URL conversion. Go to, yeah, let me show you that. You don't need to be confused about that. Let's open something here called URL encoding. URL encoding in online. So you can do URL encoding, decoding. So if you encode plus, you will get %2b. So %2b is nothing but the beginning of your number. So my number will be +91. So +91949586. But this will be an input, right? So I need to put a variable here. This will be a not a hard-coded thing. This will be an input. Time being, I'll just show you how a hard-coded thing will work. Okay, so I am sending. I need to get the case ID, case number, case subject, and description from the case if the contact number matches this. If it is not matching, I don't care. Okay, and it should be ordered. There will be multiple case opened by the same user, right? And I need only the last one case. Okay, descending order, that means last modified descending, and give me the recent case where the mobile number matches. By the way, again, how to derive to this point, that's all available in their official documentation, which I just show you. Salesforce object query language. If you dig deeper this into further, like select option is there. So if you go to selects, then you can literally develop select field subquery. And there are sample queries available. Their documentation is far amazing. Okay, you can easily work with that. But I don't have time to explain all those fields. This is something I'm doing, right? Select field all. That means if you want all, from where? It's highly customizable. You can send request. Then once it is identified, once the query is identified, you need to tune your Postman tool. Postman is basically for understanding and working with APIs. Even before implementing the API logic to a program, as a human, you can try whether it is working or not. So I just took that complete URL here, which is again from the documentation. This is the URL I have taken, and the endpoint I copied for the entire URL, and the version I replaced with 60. And this is the same command, select ID, case number, description from case where mobile number is my mobile number. Okay, and if I send this, let me see what response I usually get. Okay, it's called session expired. That means I need to re-authenticate. So I'll go back to, by the way, how to connect Postman with Salesforce. There is a detailed document I have prepared here that is also available in the extra read section. This is the one. Salesforce here. Sorry, where is it? Postman. Yeah, Salesforce. Yes, this one. Salesforce Postman API Postman. That will tell you what are the logic, means how you get the token and everything. Timing, I'll just create authenticate with Salesforce. So this is how I authenticate with Salesforce.
Yeah, the one thing, how the URL and the number will be updated. So it will be done by the Genesys, right?
Yeah, I'm
They
coming to that. First, I will explain how a normal API works. Then we are converting the same logic into Genesys. Don't
okay.
worry, I'll show you. First, we will see how that works in a program. Then we'll implement that in a human stuff. So if I send that request, I'm getting that case. I have an issue with my UPI transaction. This is which we just opened, right? But I'm getting it in a JSON format. This is called JSON structure. Um, um, Guys coming from the programming side, this is pretty common data structure called JSON. So as a JSON response, I got this. So if I put all there instead of ID, blah, 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 if I put all, I get all the data. But for this specific example, I'm only interested in, I wanted to know the description. I wanted to know the subject, case number, and case ID. So what is this case ID? If you open that case in actual Salesforce, which is this, right? Is that the case? Yeah. This particular thing is called your case ID. That's how their internal databases are associated. It's like a identification for the case. So I sent the mobile number, then I got the case back. Along with the case, I got the ID, subject, and description. This is one task I am going to perform because when the customer enters his mobile number, I need someone who can do this translation. This is one action. Once that is done, I need to select this ID and trigger the second API command, which is this, that talks about the same thing. Select case command, case update date, like case date, so created date from the case command. Case command is altogether a different entity that I show you, right? This is case command. This is case command. So collect the case command when your case ID is this. So what I have, let me keep this one in the left hand side and this one in the right hand side. So right now in the case command, I have this thing, right? Verify the account number, everything seems to be all right in the GUI. So if I do that same on the Postman, let's see what response I usually get. I get this way. Verify the contact, now everything seems to be working fine, escalating to a agent, and I also get the created date. Right now I'm only selecting created date and case command, but it's immense. I can select anything that I want from the CRM. So right now this means that I can interact with my Salesforce CRM in a programmatic way. How I implemented, the documentations are available here, but in my real training, I'll also cover the implementation part, right? Right now, I cannot teach you what is SQL command, SOSL command, and then how Postman works. That's not the intention of the class, but here is the command I have added. So if you're implementing into the lab, this is how the URL work. You need to add this URL in your Postman. Then instead of this number, that will be an input, right? I'll show you how to handle that input, by the way, in Genesys. You cannot hard code it, right? But with the hard code, we get the response. I'm sending a request to Genesys, Salesforce. I'm getting initial response as case number and case ID. Then I will take that case ID, send another request, take the case comments. Are we good on this part, guys? Are you guys understand what is API and how it interacts with Salesforce? Or if it is not clear, I'm ready to explain again.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yes, Ajay.
Okay.
Yes, Ajay.
Now the same logic I need to convert into Genesys. So like Genesys, now Postman is sending that request, right? But instead of that, Genesys has to send that request. So when Genesys send, the only variable here, the only input that varies here is the mobile number, right? So I converted that same URL in a Genesys format. This is that format. So copy this and I'll show you how I handle that variable. So this is the normal URL. And this is the modified URL. So you don't need the initial URL part here because Salesforce is tightly integrated with the Genesys. So even if you ignore the URL, they understand that. Okay, I will show you how they understand, by the way. So I start from the services, data, version 60, query, then escape URL. Escape means that plus thing I need to convert, right? If you put +1 here, this request will fail. To address that plus, customer will be putting with plus, right? He doesn't know how to encode my mobile number in a URL format. He wouldn't be typing that percentage to be and all. So for that, I need to be little proactive. So I need this particular variable stuff here. This variable is a format. This will convert, like escaping the URL. If there is any plus character or special character, this will do a URL encoding for me. So user does not want to worry about converting his input into a URL encoded format. He can literally type plus there. So that's the reason I added an escape URL here, which is enclosing my entire part. Like whatever is there, I put a bracket open here, bracket open here and a close there. And then I put the escape URL command, which is $escape URL. It's always work in the same way. That's how you escape every URL. Okay. Then goes on, this is our variable mobile number. When I reach that mobile number, in the inverted commas, I need to place the mobile number, right? So I'll place that as an input dot phone number and a dollar sign. Wherever you see dollar, that's a variable. So this will be an input received from user. I will show you how to receive that, but this will be an input received from the user. Then the final response will be, suppose your input is your mobile number, then Genesys will convert this one in this way. Oh, where is it? Yeah. Let me put a contact. So Genesys will convert, instead of this input phone number here, Genesys will dynamically place whatever input that user is giving in. Okay. So this is the logic I need to implement in Genesys. For that, we call it as Genesys integrations and data actions. So let's go ahead and implement an integration. Then integration will means data action will ask you about one URL, and this will be my input URL. I hope you guys are clear with this, whatever I am doing. Okay. Yes, no, maybe.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So let's go to the admin interface. This time I'm not in the architect. I'm going to the admin interface. I'm selecting integrations here. Now they have a lot of out of the box integrations. Few things I had tested. So ignore that. You click on the integration section here, then search for Salesforce. Even if you don't find your CRM here, there is something called web data action, which we will be using in our training. Actually, we'll be using web data action to interact with SQL. By the way, since Salesforce is integrated and it's available here, let us select this Salesforce data action, click install, and you're going to give a name for that integration. This is webinar Salesforce integration. Webinar Salesforce integration. Then configuration. No need to do anything on the properties, advanced and credential. In the credential, what they are asking you is a username and a password, a security token. So let's generate a security token. That is something you need to work with your Salesforce developer and ask them, okay, give me a user ID and password along with the security token that should have API access. Time being, what I have done for this one is the account that you signed up, right? You will be using your own email account or Gmail account for signing up. That will have system access. That system access, like he will be a system administrator. With that system administrator, you can generate something. But I will show you how to create a separate user. Go to this advanced. It's only for API authentication. That you can use your normal account, but you can always create a separate account for API based authentication. Go to advanced, then select users. Then you will actually see how many users are there, means who can log into the system. That's what I meant by users. So go to that users tab. For some reason, everything is little laggy in my, maybe because I'm sharing a lot of things. Let me close few things, guys. That will speed up. Okay. I'm still not in the user section. Yeah. So this is the user. I have a couple of users here. One is the default user, which I signed up, ajlabs111 at gmail.com, but they're going to create a specific login ID even if you enter the email account. And I create a separate user called API user 2. I can simply click here to create a new user. Okay, I'm not doing that. I'm leveraging this API user 2. So if I go to API user 2 edit, I can see all his properties, what is his first name, last name, mobile number, and all of that. So all I need is a user ID and password. When you create the user 2, you will get the password. You can set the password, or you can reset the password. You need that, and his role has to be, like profile has to be system administrator. There are stringent roles available, like if you want this user only to access through API, he should not be able to log in through GUI. You can fine tune and control that, but that's altogether the Salesforce administration part, which is not our plan today. Yeah. So this particular user, we need username, password, which we know, but we also need a security token. That's where Genesys is asking, right? What is your security token? So how to generate that security token for a Salesforce user? For that, you need to go to there are two settings here, right? One is the advanced settings. Another one is available on the user itself. This is user settings. So let's go to user settings and generate the token. Go to user settings, then search for token. Yeah. Reset my security token. Then they are saying click here to reset the security token. When you click here, they will be sending an email to you, which I don't want to click now because I already generated the security key, and this is what the security key is all about. This is the security key. Okay, so this is the password, this is the security key. So I'll be using that security key while integrating. Otherwise I can simply select generate security key. They will email us. Okay, so it only comes through email, you don't get it from here. Imagine you have that completed, you have the user ID, password and security key. Now let us go back to the Genesys and then provide those things. Let me simply copy paste this. In between, if you guys have any question, please ask. And the security token. Always select this. If you are integrating with the test account, the trial account is not a test one. So, okay, go with login.salesforce.com. So click OK. Now your configurations are saved. So only thing you select install and give a name, and in the configuration you select the credential, hit save. Now the initial connection happened. Now you need to activate this, the data action active. Sorry, not data action, the integration is active. Now the integration point is ready. You have an authenticated user, you have an authentication credential. With that, the Genesys will be able to talk. But what are the action you need? You need to get some user data, some case data, case update, all those things, right? We call it as data action. So anything that you do on the Salesforce, we call it as data action. So let us create those two data action. So for this specific example, we are creating two data actions. One is, what is it? This is one case, get recent case by number. So I'm gonna input, or the external user gonna input the mobile number. By using that mobile number, I need to get the case number, case details. So let me call this as get recent case by case number, means mobile number. You can put any other name. This is little descriptive, so I'm going to use that. So go to your integration and then go to actions. This is one of the actions which I'm going to do. So when you select action, you need to see the integration. If I draw this, this is how it works. So you have Salesforce here, and you have Genesys here, and you create something called integration that carry your user credential. With this, you will be able to send requests and authenticate because this user is available in the Salesforce. Now, next part is I need some action like get case, then create case, get user data, like get contacts. These are all my action, like logical action which I need to perform. So during that moment, I will create that URL, that API URL. Then I will say, this is my parent. You send it to here, and then it goes there. That's how the flow works. So each data action will have a parent integration. So I'm going to select my parent integration as my Genesys thing, which we created. So I can see here, webinar Salesforce integration. This is the integration that we created. Out of the box, they gave me some options, but I'm not interested in any of that. Get contact by email, get contact by phone number. Few options are there, but our intention is not that. What we need is the case details with the phone number. That's not natively available here. That's where all our API things we are implementing. If your task is already available here, you are good to use. These are static action, but I will develop a dynamic action. Okay, so create an action here. Then I need to select, it's under webinar Salesforce. That's my parent integration. Then the name will be get recent case by number. Click add. I added. Now it's a matter of converting your API, the Postman logic into your Genesys. So nothing to do in the summary. Go to setup tab, and then here few things. I'll come back to the contracts. First, I will explain what is the configuration. They are asking what is your URL template, like what type of request you are sending. If you go to the Postman, this is actually a GET request. A GET request along with the URL and a variable will fetch these many details: description, subject, case number, and ID. So what we need here is that particular URL completely copied, but I need to copy in Genesys format. Like I need to add an input section there, right? So that's why I added it here for time being. Let me copy this. This is the same command, but I have used, yeah, this is already available in Notepad, right? One second. Let me bring that up. This thing. Okay. So this is the URL which I am going to give. Not this one, sorry. Input phone number. This is the thing I am going to give. So input will be a phone number because that is varying thing. Each user will have their own mobile number. Rest of the data will be constructed in the same format. Finally, we will get something like this. That's it. So I am going to copy that, copy this, come back to my integration action, paste it here. Okay. So you don't need the initial URL here because we already integrated. That integration will understand that initial URL, what is the login URL, where till here that integration is aware about that speed, blah, blah, blah thing. So you can ignore that. You add the remaining portion and one input is here. What is your input? Phone number. So phone number field, you need to give us an input. Okay. So let me go back to the contracts. Then in the input schema, let me add the input will be always a string, not always, but in this case, it's a string. It's a mobile number. So I'll add this. Okay. So what I have done is I added my URL here. It's a get request. And in the URL, I have something called input phone number. Okay. So how the input will come? That is here in the contracts. I added the input. Only with this, let me just save it and let us test it out whether I am getting a proper response or not. I'll go and get my number, registered number. So what is the number I have added here? I don't recall. I have multiple numbers. Yeah, this is my personal number. I added this. I will copy that. Come back to the integration. Now there is an option to test it. So go and test. So they are asking the input. What is your input? Let me give my mobile number and run the action. You should get a response. Then you are good. You got a response, but not in a proper way. I'll tell you there is something called translation. But if you expand this JSON, or if you expand the step number 8, execute, you will see the response which is realistic to the Postman. So let me open Postman in the left hand side and Genesys in the right hand side. So you see, I have an issue with my UPI. You see the same thing here. I have an issue with my UPI. UPI transaction issue. That's my description, case number and case ID. So now my Genesys is able to send. Still it is not dynamic. We will be converting that into dynamic, but our integration is 80% clear. I can talk to Salesforce CRM. Are we okay at this point? Yes, no, maybe?
Yes.
Or it's too much of API things?
Yeah.
No, it's good. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So now what I am looking for is I don't need this ugly interface like it's a programmatic interface, right? But I'll be interacting with the users and the flow, board flow. So board flow need a clear conversion. So whatever raw data I got, this is called raw JSON. I'm going to copy that into a notepad, a new notepad. So this is the raw data I need, but I need to translate this into, I only need case number equal to, ID equal to, subject equal to, description equal to. This is what I need. I don't need the rest extra things. So to do that, we use something called JSON path expression. So we will show you how you can identify that. So JSON path expression online. Online evaluator. Okay. So here you need to give your raw response, which you got as per the request. This is your request. Now you are pulling some specific data. Okay. So here you can do some evaluation. So I gave you that sample also. If you go to the Genesys thing, this is the conversion. For example, let me just use this. Okay. I'll explain how I come to that point. But if I simply enter this, I got the case number, right? It says record 0 dot case number. This is record 0, means it's a programmatic way of accessing things, but forget about it. They are going to first record. This is first record in this. How will I say? This is the dictionary structure, JSON structure. There are multiple entries in it. In this case, only one record I have. In that record, I am pointing case number. So I got the value of case number. If I say case description, I will get UPI transaction failure. So this is like a human readable stuff, and the other one is like a programmatic interface. So I need a middleman who can convert this. Okay, when I send a request, this is what raw data I get, but Genesys Cloud is intelligent to handle to convert this data into a human readable format in the form of translations. So translation will have a predefined format. Guys, somebody is not muted. Let me copy this translation expression format and I'll explain to you each component line by line. So this is the translation I need. So Genesys, this is one of the template which is available in Genesys itself. I copied from there, but data I have filled in. So they need 3 sections there: translation map, default, and success template. These 3 things you need. And you need to imagine and consider what are the data you are looking for. From this, you need case number, case ID, description, and subject, right? So this is your JSON path expression. So record 0 means record is always the same. From that record, so this is one record, right? Record. And this is an open bracket and close bracket. And there is only one element there. This is the element. That element is called a dictionary structure. So in that element, you wanted to pick the first record, case number, dot case number. The case number, this record 0 is this itself. This is record 0. In the record 0, you are picking case number. So the answer of this will be this value, sorry, case number. Then you are saying case ID. Again, this is a record 0. Record 0 means record is this. Since I have only one bracket, bracket is always 1, but if I have multiple components, it will be like this, some other value here. Then I can mention record 1, then record 2, record 3. For time being, I have only one element in that record. So if I wanted to see that exactly, what I'll do is select this and select this. So till here to here, it's one element. That element belongs to this square bracket, this one. And how many elements in that square bracket? Just one element. So we, in programmatic way, we call it a 0th element. So I'm just calling that 0th element. In that 0th element, what do you want to fetch? You wanted to fetch the case number. So you put the case number here. The same way, case ID record.id, because this is how it comes. Then description, record 0.description. Then subject, record 0.subject. These are the way you are converting this ugly structure into some human readable Genesys format. This particular translation is called JSON path expression. Like again, if you want to learn more about JSON path expression, in my regular training, I will cover. Out of this topic, we can go this much because we have some time limitation. Then default one, if it fails, okay, for some reason you are not able to fetch a proper data. Maybe you are inputting a wrong number, which I will show you. You are inputting a wrong number. Of course, you don't get the case number, you don't get the case ID. It's an exception. So in that case, what will be a case number? What will be a case ID, description, and subject? I am just giving unknown string there. You can put your name also. So that in my bot logic, I can say, okay, if the case number is unknown, that means it's a not registered customer. Then I can trigger that way. If a case number is a real value, then it's a registered customer. Let me go this way. That's the reason I'm putting unknowns here. That's about default. Now, success template defines what are the things which a customer user will see, means my flow will see, bot flow will see. So in customer template, you need case ID. I'm just adding the case ID here. Case number, I'll explain after a demo this line. Okay. So let me just show you and demo that, then I'll come to the third line. But I need to copy this and add it into my data action. So this is my data action. In the configuration, previously I added the URL. It's a get request. In the contracts, I requested the phone number. Now in the configuration response, in the translation, there is a default translation thing, right? That's a format, but I am adding my own translation there. Then again, I'm going back to my contracts. Here I'm saying output should be formatted based on these things. So I need case number to be displayed. So I copy the case number. I add a contract string structure here, case number, then case number, case ID, description, and subject. These are the things I am collecting it, right? What are the things I am collecting in output? So I need to map it here. I will show you the map. Don't worry, don't get confused. I will come back to these lines again. Since I wanted to show you a demo, then that will make more sense. So case ID I collected. Now let's collect subject first. Subject, I collected subject, and I collect the description as well. So those are all string, by the way. If I'm collecting some number, it should be some integer, but usually it works with the string case. So I have contracts and translation updated. I will save it. Now I'll do one more test with my registered mobile number and see now the response. Previously we didn't get anything. We got the response, but it's a machine format. Now if I send this request, I will be getting that data in a proper filtered format. Let's see that. Yes. Case number, this is the case number. Case ID, this is the case ID. Subject, proper subject, I have it here. The description, UPI transaction issue. Make sense? Now, the value that you see here, right? Case number, case ID, subject and description. That is nothing but your final task, like success template. Case ID, case number, subject, description. How that is coming? Based on your translation map. If it goes to default, everything should display unknown, unknown, unknown. Since we are here, I will also show you that failure case. I'll just remove a number from my mobile number, put something else, and I will be getting unknown, 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 unknown of all these tasks. So this will never trigger any exception. If my API call is successful, I get a proper data. If my API call is failure, I will get unknown, unknown, unknown. So that in my API request, there is no chance this will go failure. Okay, so to do those two type of translation, I use translation map and default. Then what are the things I need to translate, which should be in the success template, and that should be displayed on the interface here, output interface. These are the output: case number, case ID, subject, description. Now questions, guys. Anyone who does not understand or portion you understand? So initially the data is like this, right? This is the data I'm getting, but I don't see any case number mapped. I don't see any subject map. So I need to do a mapping in the form of a translation. Once I apply the translation, I got proper responses for my request. Questions?
Can you repeat the translation mapping?
Yeah.
That is
Okay. So to do that, let me again send you a normal request. So when I send a normal request, I'm not considering the output. Imagine you didn't define any output. We don't get anything here. We went to the 8th step, right? This is where the execution happens. This is the raw data that you got. So if you go back to the notepad, this is the raw data I have pasted here. In that, my interest would be, okay, I will tell you a simple task. Okay, we have tools available, right? So we need to leverage the tools. Okay, I'll show you a trick about something in ChatGPT. You don't need to worry, since we have ChatGPT here. So look at my prompt. I need to, okay, I will keep my ChatGPT here, and there is, forget about this translation. Okay, so I'm asking about this. I need to get, what are the things you need to get? ID, below things. I need a JSON path expression. I need to get JSON path expression for collecting below things from the input JSON. Okay. So what are the things I need? I need ID, case number, subject, description. So I'm not giving you any logic. Okay, I'm just properly asking ChatGPT to give me. So I need to get this one.
Input.
Yeah.
Spelling for input.
Where is it?
Input spelling. Is that okay?
Okay. JSON the below. Oh, okay. Below input JSON data. So I'm gonna give a JSON data, and also telling the, okay, because when you have a proper prompt, then only you'll get proper responses. I need to get a JSON path expression in JSON format. In JSON format for collecting below things, right? So I'm going to send this. Let's see what they're going to respond. Okay. So they gave me this structure. Okay. ID equal to colon.id. Oh, sorry. I didn't give any structure, right? There is no input there. Sorry, guys. So let me rewind it again. And I will say my input data is this. The other thing, they took it from my, maybe some old history logic or something. So input JSON data. So I'm just giving whatever data I got in Genesys. Okay, I got this in Genesys. I got the same thing in Postman. I'm not doing personally anything. I'm asking ChatGPT to help me. So this is a JSON data input. Let's see what they're gonna give. Make sense for you guys? So it gave me a JSON path expression. That case number, So this is exactly the same. This bracket, which I have here, is the same thing they gave me. Records.id, records.case number, record.subject, record.description. A different alignment is different, order is different. That doesn't matter. Okay. So all I need to do is copy this, paste it here. So you don't need to study JSON path expression as long as you know how to use ChatGPT stuff. Again, if you wish to learn JSON path expression, you are free to learn. By the way, we'll also cover that in the training. But as long as we have tools, let us leverage that tool, right? Give me a proper way. There is not even a single syntax mistake there, right? Hope that answers your question. Yes or no? He's gone. Okay.
So AJ, here you're saying that whenever we are doing that postman job, right?
Mhm.
So that error, JSON error we got, JSON we got from the executive, right?
Yeah.
So that is a default one. So we have to manually enter this translation map details, right?
Yeah, default one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will show you when I run an invalid input there. Okay, let's see. So I am working, this is my input, right? This is my
Input, yeah.
raw data. So I'm going to send a different wrong number here and see what is the response I usually get. So
I understood this
yeah.
one. So we need to give some inputs there, right? So that's what we are trying to give there.
Yeah, let me show you. So this is the data as you got as a raw data when mobile number is wrong. So I don't want to spend time for converting this into a different format. What I say is, so if you're not getting a proper data, anything else comes in, map everything as unknown. My case number is unknown, ID is unknown, description is unknown, subject is unknown. Or I can put AJ also here. It should be AJ everywhere, so that when you actually trigger, the response will be that particular string what you hard code it here. Is that making sense?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Then success template is nothing but what are the things you wanted to display, but there is a syntax format you need to follow, right? That's why I gave you the same syntax format in the document. Here, if you refer, you can see a proper format. Translation map should be this way. This is what I got from the ChatGPT thing. I didn't break any my head for converting that. I didn't even use any JSON path online converter. I simply showed it to ChatGPT and they gave me. So that saves my time. Then these are the things for the default one. And success template, this is how you map it. Like case ID is case ID, you give the same thing. Case number here. That way you can map it. So I have the translation ready. So once I have the translation, all I need to paste that translation into a Genesys data action. That is over here in the configuration part and responses. This is where the translation happens. Then when you test it out, we have seen that we are getting proper response for a valid query as well as an invalid query, which we need. Otherwise, it will trigger a lot of exceptions. Good.
So in success template, does order matter?
Does not
Case
matter.
number,
Does
case
not
ID.
matter. Order
Does
does
not
not matter.
Okay.
All right. If you are good, I will save this. Only when you publish, you can use it in flow. But actually, our flow will trigger this. Okay. That's for the next part we are discussing. Flow will go and trigger this. Even for flow to access this, it has to be published. But once you publish, you cannot edit anything. So make sure your input and output, everything is working fine. You can always save it and test it. Save as a draft, test it, save draft, test it, customize everything. So the output display, right? The one that we came here, case number, case ID, subject, description, that is because of these contracts. If I don't have these contracts, it will not be displayed properly. I don't get this. These are the values which will be passed to flow, bot flow. So bot flow will be invoking this. Then it's going to send something, whatever data it gets. Once I get it, I need to send that back to my bot flow. That is in the form of contracts. So we understand contracts, configuration, and the conversion as well. So we also tested with a proper mobile number, which is there in my CRM. Then I'm getting a proper response. Proper response in the sense it gave me the contact case ID, case number, and subject and description. Oh, 0708. That's the valid number. So even if it's a valid invalid number, I can understand. Okay, it can give unknown result if it is invalid. Sorry guys, +91. So if it is a valid number, I get proper response. If it's an invalid number, I get a unknown status. So that unknown should be enough for me to build my logic. If it is unknown, you go this way. If it is a valid result, you go this way, which we will be implementing soon. So right now, my integration with the Genesys and a proper data action to fetch the case data is successful. If you're agreeing with me, yeah.
In configuration phone number and case number you have treat as string, right?
Only input number is phone number. I'm only giving phone number as the input. It's gonna.
No. The type is string, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Will it take number also?
It takes all the format. It has string,
Okay,
number,
cool.
integer, object. Since it's a fully qualified E.164 number, I have used string. And string work most of the cases. If it is integer, when you send with the plus, it will not understand. It will fail. And it also applicable like when you select the output, right? Contact number and other thing. It also works. What is the actual data coming here? So all the data coming here are strings only, right? This is a string. This is a string. This is also a string. This is a string. That's the reason I selected all. Say for example, if a number is coming, like a integer number, like 80, 20, somewhere number. So I would have selected instead of this thing case number as number also. But in this case, most of the API calls, we usually work with the strings. These are the strings. Got it? Now, if you are allow me to save, I will allow. And otherwise, we can explain again. Okay, let me save. So I'm publishing it. So no more changes. All my data action is hard coded there. So one task is over. Now let's think about the second task. What is the second task? I need the case. So I am, sorry, where is my browser? So I'm inputting the mobile number. I am getting the case. So I also want what is the case comment? What is the comment added to the case? Which is like cases here. And what is the recent case? I don't know which case is the recent one. Some UPI thing, right? This is the recent case. So it's gonna fetch this case, and after fetching that, I want this comment. So to fetch the comment, the input will be your case ID. So there are two tasks, right? So first task will be getting the case based on your mobile number. That's the only input a contact center receives, the mobile number. First you get the case, then you will have a case ID in the result. Use that case ID, send another request, and get the case comment. This is what we did here. Okay, so in the URL request, I have hard coded the case ID, but in my case, I will be representing it as a variable again. So let's see that how that works. So to get the case ID, we have seen how the Postman works. So this is equivalent conversion of Genesys data action. Let me copy that and explain with a notepad. So go to this one. So here it's simple. What it is doing is services, data, version, it's all same. Query, it's a query language. Then I'm escaping the URL just to make sure that if there is any plus or something, I will have a proper URL encoded format. Then this is the SQL command. SQL means they call it as SOQL, Salesforce query language. Select comment body, which I need. Create date means when the comment has created from case comment. So it's gonna pull case comment and then from case comment date and comment body, where this is my condition. The parent ID, this is how they organize. Then again, you will be asking me, how did you get this command? So if you are confused about me, I can again get help from ChatGPT. Let me ask one question. I need the API request to pull the case command from Salesforce CRM by entering case ID. Let's see what it says. By the way, I have free version of ChatGPT. See, they're gonna give you that. It's like a request format, but I can again ask in Python how will, in Postman how will I implement. But I got the URL here, right? This is only the concern. Your instance URL, how the structure should be, like case ID, parent ID. They have their own format, by the way. This will also work. They have parent ID here, their format. I got it from their official documentation, which we already referred. There is a proper structure how you can send a case ID and get the case comments. Okay. So ChatGPT can also help us. It can give you like, give me in Postman. Give me in Postman format. So it gives me proper way that how I can do that same thing on the proper Postman request. Yeah, see how the query is organized. Parent ID, something. They have a different logic, by the way, but this will also work. SQL Square query language will have different fashion. It all works. Then how you authenticate. They're giving everything, by the way. All right. So since I have that command here, so its parent ID is like input case ID. So when a flow executes, it asks the input user mobile number for the first time, get from the user. Then it sends an initial data to CRM. from that initial data, response will be your case ID, right? Case ID is important, then description and few other things. So with that case ID, I will send one more request, then get the case comment and case date. Hope that making sense. Answer, guys? Yes, no, maybe. Are you guys here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes. Sorry about
So let's copy that Genesys URL action. I'm going to create one more data action there. So let's go to integration. This is completed. Now go to actions and add one more data action. So I'll again, this is our, means when you select a data action, of course you need to select parent integration. Webinar Salesforce integration is our parent. And I will name this guy as get case comment by case ID. All right. Copy this, paste it over here. And the only input will be case ID, right? I have the URL available here. So Genesys integration data action URL. Copy this, come back. Nothing to do here, only in the setup. Ignore the contracts now. Let's go to configuration, paste that. Now I am saying my input will be case ID. So I need to go back to the contracts and add an input field here, which is string, again case ID. So for output, we will see. So when I send this request in Postman, what are the things that I get usually? So these are the things I will get. So let's do that way directly on the call. So I'm not doing any translation here. So before translation, how the data looks like. I need to send a case ID here. So I got the case ID in the previous request itself. This is my case ID. Or I can also fetch the case ID from the URL. If you go to the case, this is what the case ID is all about. Open the case and in the browser, you will get the case ID. No matter what, you got the case ID. I'm going to test it. So input will be the case ID. Let us run it. Let's see what it's going to respond. So it's not going to give any output in this way because you need translation. So all I'm interested in the step number 8, execution. So this is the raw data. Again, let's do Python example. That's interesting. Okay. So you got this raw data in this way. It has the required information, comment body and create date. These are the two things which I am interested in. So I need two values from here, comment body and comment date. So I am not designing any translation. I will go and ask ChatGPT to give me the translation. So let's leverage.
So is it like when there is an API calling? I just joined, like I was on a break and I just joined back. I don't know if this is covered.
Fine.
When we do API calling in the script, right, in the flow, when we get the response back, so we have some built-in mechanism to massage whatever the data that we want to.
Yeah, that is what exactly I'm implementing. This is the raw data coming in, but I don't need total size. I don't need done. I don't need records. I only need these two things. Yeah. So that's exactly
but
JSON
I'm
path
coming
expression.
from a Cisco background. Like we need to write some JavaScript to extract whatever the information that we exactly catch from the respond information. So okay, is there a direct way that we can do here?
I'm doing that right. Just focus on this one. Let me tell you. We can explain again. So I am going to ChatGPT and asking that to do this filtration. Like again, like you said, massaging. I'll give the same prompt which I previously gave. Sorry, where was that? Yeah. So I will structure my query in my notepad. Okay. So I will ask ChatGPT, I need a JSON path expression in JSON format for collecting below things. What are the things you need? You need case comment and create date. These are the only things. This is like massaging. So this is your data. So I will say this is my input data. So you give your input data and ask the ChatGPT to give you a converted format. Then you will convert that into Genesys format. So let's go back to the ChatGPT and paste the query and send it. So it's going to take that and gives me the JSON path expression.
If it is an XML path also, it will work. Is it XPath expression?
Yes.
Okay.
So these are the things. You need the JSON path. This is comment body. So I need this, and let's go back to Genesys and we'll see in the configuration. This is the massaging part. Response. They have a template there. So let me go from the scratch. So I'll copy that template. So this is what Genesys is saying. You should send me this way. Okay. So in the translation map, your JSON path expression should be there, which I just received from the ChatGPT. So this is your
Wow, this is
JSON path
awesome.
expression. So let me paste it here. Okay, I'm done. Okay, the messaging is done. Now Genesys will understand, okay, from the raw data coming in, I only need to consider comment body and comment date. Then any except, this is enough for me, a regular case, but any exception triggers, what are the comment body and comment data, and what's my success template. So again, I don't want to type it because it is syntax based. So I'll copy that from here. This is what exactly the same thing. Okay, I will explain that after copy pasting, just to save time. First portion we designed, right? This is anyway, it's here. Sorry, where did I copy? Sorry, star division here. Okay, so this is the format translation map. We already created our first translation map. It is exactly the same. Okay, then the default, this is the format. Create date, comment body, you just place it unknown. So if there is no case, that is a chance, right? You request a recent case comment and no comment is added. Of course, it will be an unknown. So we need to capture that. So I added this. Then how you map it? Create means in the output when actually a user sees, how do you want to map it? So create dates and comment body. Same thing do you map. The rest of the things are just a syntax copy paste. This is the logic you are building. So instead of breaking your head for JSON path expression, I am leveraging ChatGPT there. So once you have this, you copy this and come back to our, right now you see the result, right? I don't see a proper result. I only get the response in a JSON format. But the moment I add this translation, then hit save and test the input with the case ID. So the case ID is this. Let's see the result now, how that comes in. So this is how you remapping your API responses in a way that you are looking for. Oh, sorry, there is some error is happening. I think this is not the case ID. I'll copy that case ID. This is case ID. Sorry guys, case ID is not something that you see on this thing. It's a different one. Okay, it's only through the initial. It's the same. Then why is it not responding?
We need to add output variables, correct?
Oh, sorry, I missed that. Okay, in the contracts, we need to see what are the things we need, right? So in the output, after the translation, we are only looking for case date. Thank you for that, by the way. So I will add two string here. One is case dates and one other one is case body, comment body. All right, so now let's test it. I'll copy that case comment case ID again and paste it here and send this. Now it's going to be in a real format that you are actually looking for. So you're customizing the API in one more structure. So I got the case date, right? This is the date. Again, this is in a different format. I don't want to spend time for converting that again. It's okay. We can understand this is around 1756.00 time it triggered, and the comment will be verified the account. Everything seems to be okay. Escalating to the next level, which is exactly you can see on the comment section here. Right, so our second data action is also successful. Let us save this. Are we good on this part, guys?
So where you configure the input and output?
In the contracts.
Okay.
Contracts input will be the case ID. Output will be after your translation, after your message, what you need. That is the output. So now I have two data actions. So now I can confidently trigger this data action in a call flow. That is what we gonna see now. Are we good to go to the bot flow further? So let's
Yes.
Yes, we are good.
So let's see where we are right now. So we are done with Salesforce basic stuff like how to create some case, how to create a contact. Then we also added an external contact. We added a case. Yeah, go ahead.
And Abdul, sorry for interrupt. So
Yeah.
are we doing the recording for this session?
Yes.
Because we
Yes.
joined late.
Yeah, of course. It'll be available in my YouTube channel. I'll send you the link after the class.
Okay, thank you.
Just one quick question. Suppose there are multiple comments, and how we can address that?
Yeah, you can add an input comment. This is saved already, but if you add input, now I have only one thing, right? But if I have multiple inputs, I can keep on adding those contracts here.
Okay, until we get the unknown.
Yeah, it's whatever. It's all about. So usually in API, every request maybe will have one parameter, or you may have 2-3 parameters like opening a case. So when you're opening a case, you need a case, you need an account means contact number, means contact details, plus you also need some dependency. I don't exactly recall it over my head, but for that 2-3 inputs are required. So all those input we will be adding it. Yeah, like opening a case, I'll tell you. Opening a case is like creating a record there, right? So the case will have priority, case will have a subject, case will have a title, and maybe a description. 4 input will be there. So you need to pass all these 4 input as a body of your request. So you can customize that in the input format again, but that is not our focus today. So, but it is possible.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm coming back to my whiteboard again here. So we also created a case. Then we did the integration first with an API user 2. Then we also generated the security token. Then we also completed the Genesys integration. We are done with the data action, 1 and 2 data action, create case and get case. Now this is the flow. Okay. Again, till this is we created, this one we created, digital bot flow. Okay. Now match with an indent we created, so we can chat with an agent by simply typing live, right? So when it type live, it goes to the second action where it triggers the chat. But now in this case, I will say case update or something. So I wanted to say some indents that is responsible for giving me the case update. So I can go to my flow chart and I have added some indents here, utterances, status of my case. I have an existing case, my case status. So let me just add that indents in our flow. So go back to the flow again. Then this is the indent. This is transferred to the agent indent. I also have previously created case task here, right? Case status task. So I'm going to create a new indent. We'll call it as case status indent. So case status indent will trigger case status task. So select existing and then case status task. Done. Now let's think about the utterances. So in the utterances, I will say status of my case. What is it? Yeah. Status of my case. Oh, sorry. I should have written in. It's okay. I can go with the capital letters. It automatically converts small letter, but I like small here. Status of my case. Simply type status. Existing case. Existing case. And there are chances that user may type 1, right? Because that is also one of our indication. So if you wanted to know more about your case, one option is called, we have written there. So 1, then what else we have there? My case status. Okay. So I'm just giving few things right now. My case status. Added. Then I can test it. Simply go and test it. So I will type 1. When I type 1, it's gonna trigger indent test. Oh, okay. Sorry guys. I didn't save it, right? I need to save. Because when in the break I created a test indent just to test that previous error. So it's snatching there. Let's see. Now I'll go. I have indents, 2 indents, test, and type 1. Yeah. So it triggers case indent. When I type 1, it triggers case indent. Let me type new, case status. So case status also triggers case indent. So my natural language understanding is working perfectly. I can keep on building the utterances. Like that's how you improve your chatbot, right? I'll also show you indent minor. That's a topic of small discussion. After once we complete this, I'll show you where the indent minor happens. So time being that is fine. So I can simply type 1 or I can say case status or I have an existing case, my existing case, those type of are the utterances. Based on that, it's going to trigger case indent. When the case indent triggered, it's going to trigger case status task, which is here. That's where we all need to build our further logic. So right now it's only say you are at the case status task. I don't need that. What I need is I need to, the moment it triggers here, the user comes here, we need to ask the user input the mobile number, right? What is your mobile number? So that mobile number will be a variable in bot flow. In bot flow, what we address variable is something called slots. So I have a slot here, okay? And I'm going to add a slot. That slot will be something like mobile number stuff. Let me add a slot. It's a variable. Imagine it's a variable. That's it. Okay. So slot will be, I'm using customer number slot. Customer number slot. What type of variable it is. Is that a list? Is that a regular expression? Is that a dynamic list? So in my case, it could be a mobile number, right? So I am selecting a regular expression. Then I need to, I'll show you. Okay, time being, I'll select regular expression. Then I will say that will be the slot type. There will be a slot and a slot type. So slot type will be, the slot means it will ask for the slot. What is your mobile number? Then the type of that slot will be a regular expression. Then I need to define that regular expression here. So how do you address a regular expression? You can again ask ChatGPT, give me a regular expression that matches all E.164 number. Let me do that. Or I have already done it and I have added it here. A regular expression for this thing. Where is it? Yeah. So regular expression for all mobile number without plus is this. Okay. Again, you can get it from ChatGPT, or this is not the time to discuss regular expression, but in my regular class, we will have a detailed session for regular expression. So I'm going to add this regular expression. What is the error? Your pattern contain errors. Yeah, I think there are 2 brackets. One sec. Plus blah, 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 blah. Okay, till here. That should work. Or else I will go back to ChatGPT. Don't worry.
Yeah, 2 bracket.
1 second. We have ChatGPT here, right? That will help me. The other one I have already tested. Give me a regex that matches all the international numbers with or without plus. Now they give me a large one with hyphens and other thing, but let us make it simple. I don't need to give a larger format. These all things will match based on their regex, but let me stop it without hyphen. Yeah, it's a symbol thing. Okay, there is a dollar at the last. Okay, that's almost similar, but there is a dollar at the last. So copy it, come back to your stuff, add it. Yeah. Now you can test it. So I am entering my mobile number plus 919495860708. It's gonna highlight. If it is matches, it highlights. So it's a proper number that matches US number, Indian number, whatever number, like 15 characters. D means digit 1 to 15. Again, this is not the time to explain what is regular expression. Again, you can leverage ChatGPT if you don't want to learn that. Otherwise, we will learn it later. So I created an slot. Slot is my variable. That variable type is a regular expression, and I'm going to question the user to enter this. So that's where I'm coming to case status task. I can use the task called ask for slot. So in the ask, there is something called ask for slot. Let me ask that. So in the ask for float, I will just copy paste my transcript there. Not transfer. In my notepad, I have something. What is your registered contact number? This is what I'm going to ask. That makes sense, right? So what is the slot we are selecting here? Slot will be customer's number slot. That's a variable. So the value will be saved on that. They have a default question there. What is your, please enter your slot name here. So I'm going to change that and ask, what is your registered contact number? Please enter in E.164 format. Example plus 919495860708. Save it. Okay, and the result of that will be saved here. Slot customer number slot. This will be my data trigger. Now I need to trigger something, right? I need to send a request to Salesforce CRM to reach and get the data. But when user makes a mistake, like you entered a mobile number, there is a typo. Isn't that a good option that you give an option to correct it, like asking that, are you okay, this is the number? If it is not, we will give you one more chance to correct it. It's called improving the flow. I don't need that. I can directly flow, assuming that user will be entering a right number. But if I wanted to implement a lot of logic and I wanted to fine tune my board, these are the exceptions which you can manually trigger. So I'm going to ask the user a yes or no question, which is here. Okay. Now the question will be with a variable as well. That's the catch here. So let me ask this. You have entered XXX time being, is that correct? So what is that XXX? That will be the slot. Okay, when I say slot, that means your mobile number that you input. So I wanted to add a variable here. So to add a variable, you simply select this and you can see slot dot customer number slot. That is the variable. So it says you have entered this number. Is that correct? And let me bold it. So you can put a star over here and a star over there. So the mobile number will be written in bold, and it says you have entered this number. Yes, no. User can respond in two different ways. If the user mistakenly entered a wrong statement, like he does not enter a proper number, we need to give one more chance. That means I need to transfer to the first task again, like what is your mobile number? So it's a kind of loop. You can use loop, or with the logic which I am designing, it is easy to transfer. I can simply add a leg here and ask them to go to the start stage. But before going there, customer might have entered some slot, right? In Genesys flow, when somebody entered some slot value, it will be always there. It will not clear. Even if you enter a wrong mobile number, even if you transfer the task, it will still save the old value. So we need to clear it. So for clearing, there is a task called clear slot. So let's call that out now. So I think it's in logical or flow. Clear slot, yeah. So this is the clear slot. So imagine you are entering a wrong mobile number. So at that moment, you will clear the slot. Now, there is no value in the slot. Now you need to give an indication to the user saying that, okay, oh, no problem. Let us try again. So I will add that communicate flow here. So it says communicate, which is available here. And in that, I will say, no problem. No problem. Let's try again. Good. You can always improve. You can prompt your own fashion. Then after saying that, where should I go? You guys tell me. After giving this option, where should I go and stand? No input?
Just
Yeah, just the beginning, right? Yeah. So that's the reason I created these type of task. So I can always go back to the case creation task itself. So for that, I will see task, then jump to reusable task. That means I am jumping to a reusable task, which is this. And what is my task? Which is again case creation task, case status task. So it kind of a loop. Without even loop, I have a loop. Let us just publish it and test it, because we'll be building the entire flow. At least the beginning stage, we should be able to correct it. So if I say no to the bot, it should be adjusting that. Okay, it should ask again, what is your mobile number? What's your mobile number? That way. Okay, so let's try that. I published it. Go back to the bot, delete it. Sure. And then
just one thing.
Yeah.
Do this bot support button and cards?
Yes, of course. The yes or no question will be a button itself. We'll show you that. So, okay, so I'm going to trigger the first one. That I'll select one, and it says, what is your registered mobile number in A.164 format? +919495860708. It says you have entered. See, it dynamically fetched my number. I have entered my number. If you would have entered your number, it would have taken that. Okay, you have entered this number. Is that correct? So this is called a type of card, but there is something called switch statement and ask for cards. You can customize your answer in such a way that customer can select some of that option. Here I can simply type yes or no, means select yes or no, or simply type here. So let's type no and see the flow goes back to the beginning. No problem. Let's try again. What is the registered number? Let's say somebody is putting something which is not even a mobile number. What is this? Okay. You have entered this. Is that correct? So that when I say correct it, it just fails. And that's endpoint, right? We'll trigger again. All I need is when I input a number which is not even a valid number, it's gonna trigger the default exception. So hi. If it is not matching the regular expression, hi, welcome to AJ bot. I'll simply say status. Status. So they are asking me to enter mobile number. I said just entered 78, which is not a mobile number. So you have entered mobile number. Is that correct? Okay, so we need to further build in. Okay, so there is a data type validation. If it is 78, it'll say, okay, it's not a valid mobile number. Please enter a mobile number. That is also we can trigger. But now our loop is actually happening. So if I'm selecting no, it goes to the beginning. If I select yes, the next option is disconnect, right? That's where it is disconnecting. Okay, so till this point is clear. Are we good?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Now let us trigger the data action. Now we got the input, right? The input will be the slot name, customer number slot. With that, I need to trigger a data action. So data action trigger point will be available in the toolbox. If you expand the data, so let me edit again. I'll go to data. So data action, call data action. So if it is yes, so I'm not going to yes status here, means of course if it is yes, this flow will continue and reach here. If it is no, this will end it here itself, right? So instead of giving it here, I can just place it here. That should be fine, so that my flow will be much more simpler. But of course you can do here also, you can develop this branch, but this is my way of doing it. So I select it here. So if it is yes, then the customer select yes, it comes through this channel and it reaches here, and it's going to trigger an API call, basically an integration and data action. So they are saying what's your category. So I need to select my integration here, webinar Salesforce integration, and what data action you want. I need get recent case by number. My input will be the mobile number and output will be the case number and few details. It dynamically fetches here. You can see that phone number. Okay. So what is the phone number? Right now in this flow, phone number is available as an expression. And what is that? That's your customer number slot. So I simply type customer, it automatically detects. So customer number slot will be input to the data action. This is what we are doing, right? If you go to the data action, when you are going to the action and you are fetching the case details, case comment by mobile number, your input will be your mobile number. So the same logic I converted in the bot flow. So this is your input. So I initially prompting to the user to enter the mobile number. I kind of validate that. Then I am passing that entered mobile number into my data action. Hope that makes sense. And the responses, I usually get 4 responses, right? In the integration, you have 4 contracts. So these are the case number, case ID, subject, and description. So let us tune that. So when a case number, case ID, subject, and description, these are the 4 responses coming in. I need some temporary variable to hold that values. To select the variable options here everywhere. And I can follow the same nomenclature. So case number will be stored in a variable called case number. Simply type enter. That will create a variable there. Then case ID, which is case ID, then subject, simply subject. It should not be matching with the other one. Okay, whatever you see on the top, it can be anything. So it comes and save it to this, and these variables are only relevant on the particular flow itself. It does not have any relevance outside of the data. Then description. Okay, so I kind of requested the API call. When a response comes, I saved all this data here, and now we have 3 branches: successful, failure, and timeout. Okay, so first let us think about successful. Successful will come even if the invalid data is there. Means the API call will be always successful. So failure means some type of system error or some form of error happens. But our API call we have designed in such a way that it always gives you at least one result, either a proper result or unknown result. So the response can be an unknown or response can be a proper response. So I need to evaluate that response here. If it is an unknown, I can say that you are not a registered customer because I don't find a case, mobile number tagged with the case number in my CRM. So of course you are not a registered a registered user, or you don't have any case with this number. At least I can tell that. Only when if the response is unknown. So I'll build that branch first using logical action. So let's go to logic and then take a decision flow and drag it to the success. So my call will be always successful. Don't worry about that. If that is successful, I have 2 choices here. My response of that case things will be either unknown or a proper thing. So I'm going to evaluate unknown first. Like here I'm going to create an expression that checks case ID, task.case ID not equal to. Okay, that means if it is not equal to, then my proper logic work. If it is equal to something other than unknown, that's a real logic. That's what I'm implementing. Not equal to what? Unknown. If the response what I got from here, let me just show you that. Okay. So in the this thing, first 91949586007008. When this is not unknown, that's a positive condition, right? Not unknown is a positive condition. So my case ID, I'm only evaluating the case ID. So case ID is not unknown now. That's correct. So my logic condition is task.caseID is not equal to unknown. That means my proper stage. If that is yes, I can build a communication. So what is my communication? I will say your existing case number. Okay, I can just prompt to the user saying that this is your case number. So I'll say your case number is, so where is the case number right now saved after the API call? We have a variable, right, called case number. You can see that task.case number. Okay, so I'll just highlight it. Your case number is this. I can be more interactive, right? The case subject is, I can also pass that. Case subject is, I have the variable ready available, right? Case subject. I don't want description there. Okay, case name, number and subject would be fine. Even case number would be fine. It's just an indication saying that, okay, it's a successful API call. You got response. If it is unknown, okay, it's a good indication that there is no case registered on your number, right? So I will say that I was not able to identify. I was not able to find a case registered with this number. I can also give you the number variable there. So it will be always much more interactive. Number will be always in the slot variable, right? Customer number slot. So it's going to say if it is not equal to unknown, which is a positive desirable condition, it comes to the yes branch. It says user case number. If it is a failure case, it says, hey, there is no case registered. That is for the successful branch. If I go and check the API call stage, which is that get data action, there are two things, failure and timeout. So there will be a timeout if your response is not coming from the other system. Say for example, some busy server situation in the Salesforce. So of course your API call will time out, or the Salesforce is not responding properly. That will be a failure. So it's a good thing that you also address those scenarios. In our case, it will never go there, but at least let us give an indication to the user that the request has been failed because of some XYZ reason. So I can send another communication here. When the API call fails, I will say I am not able to fetch your data from our system right now due to machine failure. Okay, so I'll say that I'm not able to. So if it is timeout, I can do similar thing. I can click here. There is an option to copy paste same structure. So copy this and come back here, paste it. So instead of the server issue, I will say and right now due to, so there is a typo there, forget about it, due to timeout, system timeout. Okay, so we are good. Let me also correct that previous typo. Okay. So we have done that. Now, isn't that a good thing that, okay, once it reaches, instead of disconnecting, I will transfer that to the beginning again. That's a good thing, right? Anyway, failure happened. And then if the failure happens, you go back to the initial stage. I'm not doing that right now because I will have a whole together exception case. I will say that, okay, you go to the beginning. So if failure comes, it goes and disconnect. Timeout comes, it goes and disconnect. If it is successful, at least I will get the case number and description. And then if it is unknown, like an unknown mobile number, means a wrong mobile number, if it is unregistered, we'll say I'm not able to find a registered case number with this. I will publish this out because it's only like 50% we have done. We'll test it and come back. So again here, so I will delete this, means clear that. Let us wait for that to publish. All right, to the site, initiate a new message. Hi, I'm going to select case status, which is option number 1. And what is your registered mobile number? Let's give the same number, +919495860708. Is it correct? They're going to ask. I'll say yes. I should get my case details here. Yeah, right? Case number, I have an issue with my UPI transaction. This is the same case we opened, right? So till this point, it's behaving properly. Now we need to continue, right? Now I also need to get the case status. So once I Robert send me this one, I am not looking for the subject. This is my case. This is only if a validation. This is my case number. And then below it should automatically run. This is your case update, this on this date. So that is our next second data action. So before going there, are we good on this part, guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hope you guys are enjoying, not feeling sleepy. So we are done almost. So we have just one more task. Okay. So it's always a good decision, good practice that you always address the failure scenarios. Like in case we didn't address the wrong mobile number, right? We'll also test that. I need to test it out. I will give you a wrong mobile number and it should say there is no case found for the number.
Instead of looping, can we put a retry count in here?
Retry, yeah, it's available. You can do that, retries option, but they have loop option. I didn't try retry option, but it'll be possible. It's open logic, right? You can build any other way which you like. Okay, again, 919495860709, which is a wrong number, by the way. So when they ask, okay, you have entered this number, is that correct? I'll say, yes, it is correct. So it's going to do the API call and get the response called unknown. And I got this, see, I was not able to find a case registered with this number. It's a proper thing and it disconnected. So all my 2 branches for a successful and a failure decision is success. And if the API call fails to generate, to replicate that API call failure, I may need to break the integration, which I don't want to do now. But even in that case, this will work out. Okay, so I don't have any unknown exceptions here. All I am handling properly. Now let's go and think about the next thing. Like when you get this, you have to, 1 second. What is next? You have to trigger the second one to fetch the case comment. So that's again another data action which we built in. So let's go to data and send that data action. So data action will be on this branch, like only when it is success, right? Failure thing I will address finally. So let's go failure thing. Anyway, it's addressed and disconnect, but we will have a different option always. So call data action. This time I am calling the same integration, but the second flow data action, right? Get case comment by case ID. So in the previous API call, we also received the case ID, right? Let me show you that. So this is the first API call, which is get data action. In that, we got the case ID and case number. We haven't used the case ID right now. This will be our input to the second API, case ID. So let's take the second API, and they will be asking, okay, trigger the data action. What is your case ID? So set this to expression and type your case ID stuff, task.case ID. So you will be triggering that API by inputting the case ID. Success result will be coming to created date. So it has to be a variable, and I need to create a temporary variable to hold the data. So I've used the same similar name for that. Created date, just enter, that will create a variable. Then comment body. Okay, so comment body, that's it. I am done. Okay, ignore the rest of the things. Then, so this is the API call. Again, that call will be a successful call or a failure call. So even let's think about successful call. In successful call, if there is no case comment, imagine no comment is there, then your case comment data, like this particular value, will be unknown, right? That's the logic you built on the data action. So let us catch that point using another logical action, which is decision. So go and drop that decision over here. Then what are you evaluating on the decision? Make it as an expression. If your case comment, right? Case comment body, that's the variable you use. Task.comment body, okay, not equal to, again, unknown. So if it is unknown, means it's a failure condition. That means you don't have any case comment there. If it is not unknown, anything else, that means our success criteria. Okay. So that I created that condition. So that condition I have 2 branches. If it is unknown means that's a successful condition. So in that case, in the successful condition, what I need to tell the user. Okay. So communicate to the user saying that I can use communicate. I need to present the data to the user, right? So that's the communicate thing. So here I can say, I can simply call it as case update. Then case update is, sorry, case command. I will add. Okay. Case command is, then what is the case command, which will be the response from the API call, which is task.command body, which is the variable. Case command is this, and last updated on, then I'll see that last update. Date, right? Created date. These are the 2 response which you get. So I can simply highlight those things. I can also put a, I can format in any other way I want. Or I can also say that, okay, case command, case update. Here are the case. Here is the latest case. Here is the latest case status. Okay. So I'm gonna get this. So this will be presented to the user. I got the communicate. So now wherever you are finishing the flow, now we are done, right? Again, I need to send that back to the initial case, like a check the case status task, or I can send to any other initial task, like even the first greeting I can send. But it is always good to clear your utterance, clear your slots. Now, right now I have a variable called your customer number. Again, if you send that flow into an initial task or any other task, that mobile number will be always added. That will create a weird interaction when you again continuously chatting to the user. So instead, it will never ask what is your slot number, because slot is already filled in. So to do that, like I said, I have that flow, clear flow option, clear slot. I'm going to create customer mobile number here. Slot will be always, once it is defined, it will be always there. So I'm going to create that. Then I will ask the customer, do you want to end the chat, or you want it to go back to the beginning and then further interact? I will ask an yes or no question here. Ask yes or no. These are all when the call is successful. The API call is successful, right? Failure I will create. So I'll say, do you want to proceed? Instead that, do you want to go back to the beginning? Do you want to go back to the start? So of course,
why you got this slot again? Like I didn't.
Yeah. So imagine this will work. Okay, logic is right now, but the problem is at this point your initial task is completed, right? You got the case number, you got the case summary and everything. Now my logic is like the robot will ask, do you want to go back to the beginning? Okay. And if you respond that yes, I wanted to go back to the beginning, you will again reach either beginning of this call or any of the tasks which is available in the left hand side. Again, suppose you are coming here, it will ask what is your mobile number again, right? At that point, you already have that mobile number stored in the previous interaction. It is always hard coded there. So before triggering the loop, it is applicable for all slots. Even if you have a loop looping through that, before that you need to clear it. So I'm clearing my customer slot number. So my slot number is empty now. Then if I go to the beginning, it will continue the same way. So I can also show you after deleting this, what are the weird behavior that chatbot responds. Okay, so clearing the slot, then you're asking whether you wanted to go back to the beginning or not. So if customer says, I wanted to go back to the beginning, it is easy. I can simply use the task option, jump to reusable task, and I can define which task, whether I should go back to the case status task or transfer to agent task or initial task. In this case, I will go to initial task because it will again trigger, give the option, and the flow ends there. If it says no, I'm going to disconnect. Okay, so if the customer says, no, I don't want to go back to the beginning, then it disconnects there. So I drag and drop the disconnect option there. That disconnected. So this flow is right. Now think about if the API call, second API call gives me an unknown result. That means there is no case command. So it's a good option that I can send the customer that there is no case command or there is no case bot comment. Yeah, case update. Unfortunately, the case has no update yet. I can give that option, right? Then do you want to chat with a real agent? So I'm giving an option to the customer. So I don't find any case comment there, no comment added. Maybe your case is fresh. So in that case, do you want to chat with a real agent? So customer say, okay, instead of this, I will say yes or no again there. So I'll put the yes or no question there. That's good thing, right? No, ignore. Instead of ignore that, I will say, I will transfer to an agent. Let us make it simple. So unfortunately, the case has no update yet. I will transfer to a human agent. Let me transfer you to a real agent. Then the real agent can further escalate and do all sort of things. So I just send the communication out there and then again triggering a reusable task. So in this reusable task, you guys need to tell me where should I transfer. Where should go? It should go to the beginning of the case status.
Transfer to agent task.
Yes, exactly. It has to go to the transfer to agent task, which we already completed before the break, right? Transfer to agent task. So now this flow is complete here. Now let's think about the second API call failure. Like I initially got successful, like I got a case. Then if the case command is unknown, I address this thing. I have some system failure stuff here. So let us copy the same system failure from the beginning. So I have a system failure command here. So let me do that. Sorry. I'm trying to copy. Before that, I will delete the previous clipboard. So copy it, come back. So in the failure task, I will say a system failure. So also the timeout also I have one option here. So I will close this, copy this. Now system will say this is timeout. Okay, so we properly address all the exception scenarios. Now let's see when the successful flow happens, we always have a disconnect, right? This is left hand side is a successful path. So this is the first data action. This is successful. Then it triggers here and it goes and finally disconnect in this branch. The failure branch also disconnects, but here this is not disconnecting. It is just staying there. And the previous also, these two things are not disconnecting. If it is unknown, it says I was unable to fetch the details. If two failure, it's all failure condition, right? These are all failure condition. So it's a good idea that in a failure scenario, I can simply say, let me transfer to an agent. So because of that reason, I will move the last transfer option to right above the disconnect task. So any other flow it takes, eventually it reaches here, then it transferred to an agent. So when you have a transfer task here, you don't need any disconnect. Right? Otherwise, I can put a transfer task everywhere, but it's a way of fine tuning the program, the logic. So these are the failed condition. All those failed condition, I will say I will transfer to a real agent. That's it, and it stops there.
Is there any option to wait, make the customer wait in the queue or something, or like?
Yeah, if this is how it is, right? It'll be wait. I mean, I can send you if the customer interaction goes to a chat. Before this, I can send you an option like you are in the queue. Then there are APIs available to see the queue position. Okay, you are at this position. That is called self API action. Like you need to send an API request to Genesys itself to fetch the queue data, queue number of agents in the queue. All those things are possible.
And we can even play MOH in this messaging.
But messaging, how you play MOH?
I'm just asking.
I never tried that. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. So let's isolate again. So it's come to this point. It says I'm not able to fetch. Okay. So I don't want to transfer everything. Okay. Let's do one thing. So if it says I am not able to fetch your details, in that case, I will simply ask the user will transfer to the beginning. Okay. So otherwise everything will be transferring to the agent. Then you guys testing it, I'll be occupied. So let us do one thing. If it says I am unable to fetch your thing, then let's simply jump into the beginning. Jump to a reusable task and say that. So you go back to the initial task. So if the API fails to fetch the data, go to the beginning. So I will copy this and apply in a lot of places. Wherever I have some exceptions, I will apply that. This makes sense. If it fails or timeout, it sends the beginning. Then I am unable to find the case with the mobile number. Okay, so in that case, it's making sense that I can transfer to the agent. Then next one, if there is a case comment, yeah. So if the second API calls for the case comment, if that is failure, again, I will say let's send it to the beginning of the task instead of sending to agent. But again, it's your choice. You can send it to agent also. So all these are disconnected there. If I scroll in a small way, so this part disconnects there, and if it fetches, I don't have any case with your registered number, that goes and finally transfers. And the second API call failures, system failure, again that stops there and go to the beginning. If it is successful, it gets the case details like case comment and the date with the user, and it asks the user, do you want to go back to the beginning? Yes or no. If it is yes, go, no, disconnect. And if the second API call is failure, again that comes and then gets to the agent transfer thing. So I don't want that also here. If the second API call fails, that also go to reusable task and it should go to the beginning. Only when the registration stuff, right, the unknown number stuff comes, like a wrong number enters, it transfer to the agent. And any other exception in the flow, it always goes there and transfer to the final agent. So final task will be always transferred to an agent. So at this point, if I save this, my entire bot will be ready. So let us test it. You guys don't test it. I will test it out, all the feature, then I will leave it to you who can test it. So I have to bring up the agent interface. This is the agent interface. I need to bring the website as well. Yeah, it is published. Then select delete. Yes. So I'll first replicate a success scenario. Then we'll give a wrong number also. So I'm going to interact with the robot with a human language. So I'll say hi. This time I will type is a status S command. S is the first capital letter. Status. It identified that, though I have an utterance only status, but it identified the capital status as well. Plus 919495860708. So it asks for me, is it the right number? Yes, it is the right number. Then, okay, it fetches the case number and it also fetches the remaining details. Here is the case status. Case command is verified the account. Everything seems to be okay. Escalating to next level. That's the case command we added. Last updated on this date. Do you want to go back to the start? Let me type yes. Then it goes back to the beginning. Right. So that is a successful flow. Now let us see a wrong mobile number input. Okay. So, yeah. So again, I will type 1 or status or whatever utterance I have. Then type my mobile number. Yeah. So if I flow this way, if I wouldn't have cleared my input slot, the mobile number slot, this will immediately go to the next one saying that this is my registered mobile number. I already have it. But that is not a good logic. You always need to reset it. Okay. Yes, it is correct. Oh, shit. I should, I'll retrigger. I should have entered some wrong number. Sorry. Do you want to go back to the start? Yes. So I will select 1. Then it's a wrong number. I am confirming it. Yeah, this is the correct number, but it is not a registered number. Let's say I was unable to catch the registered. See, it is. Let me transfer to a human agent. This agent is not in queue. That's why I'm not getting any transaction. So I made it in the queue. I'm getting the chat message. So I answer it. So I can answer hi. Let me know how can I help you. So we properly created a chatbot that is escalating. When it fails, escalating a human agent. When it comes to a human agent, all the history will be there, like how he chat, what are the things initially he did. So I will have a proper context. See, it says I was unable to find the registered case with a registered number. Then I understood, okay, this guy might be looking for something. Then I'll say, hey, I think you are looking for a case number update. Can you confirm your registered number? Then I can continue as a human language itself. Then finally disconnecting the call. I mean, disconnect the chat from here with some general inquiry, whatever stuff. This is
so
one.
Justin, you are going to show the wrap-up code.
Not at this call, but wrap-up code will be there in the performance dashboard. That's about the reporting structure. But in the webinar, I did not plan anything. For that, I need to log in as a administrator or supervisor. I'll show you before I go. But wrap-up codes will be there. You can see the interaction details. I will, since you asked, quickly I will show you. So go to the interactions, performance. Here comes all the performance analytics and all those things works in Genesys. It's altogether a different topic, by the way. But since you ask, we will see all the interaction, what is going on in the contact center. So I'm going to select interactions and I will see the last interaction. I can filter based on date, today, yesterday, last 10 minutes, and based on this queue, everything I can see here. So this is one of the interaction and it went to the queue called webinar queue. So I'm sure that this is the queue. This should be the queue. And open it and there'll be an interaction ID for every interaction. And when I properly wrap up in the interaction details, you can see the wrap-up code here. Where is it? General inquiry. Yeah, wrap-up information. Why is it not? Agent disconnected. Did I submit that? 1 second. Okay, I submitted it.
You need to close the interaction, right? To get closed.
Yeah.
It's closed actually. Maybe the customer did not close
So
it.
did not select the wrap-up.
Agent should close it, correct?
Edit wrap-up code.
Okay, let's do one thing. Yeah, I will do one more thing. So
you enable as mandatory so that it will
Is
not.
it mandatory
no, it's not mandatory. There is a settings, by the way. So you can force a queue with a mandatory wrap-up code or an optional wrap-up code, or without wrap-up code you can close. It's all customizable. So maybe I close without a wrap-up code, but let me try with a wrap-up code since you asked. So let's go back to the bot. So I will start from the beginning again. Once the agent disconnect, it goes to the beginning. So welcome, and then connect with an agent. I'll directly select connect with an agent. So it comes here, answer. So I'm going to chat with hello, and I'm going to disconnect the chat. Agent is disconnecting the chat, and I am selecting general inquiry as the wrap-up code and then clicking submit. So if I go as an administrator or a supervisor, I will see that interaction in detail. So go back to the interaction. I will select the latest interaction. Agent. Yeah. This will be also part of a lot of other reports. This is one of the interaction details I'm showing you, and there will be transcripts as well. What are the things they actually chat, all those things, right? So as a contact center manager, like contact center is always an improvising technology. You need to improve over the period of time. So you need to build some dashboard, which I showed you in the class, right? We have a topic how to build the dashboard, then see how agent analysis means agent performance. Is he always in the queue? How much time percentage he is not available on the queue? Those type of things. I can also do a evaluation session with the agent. So that's how I can improve. It's altogether a joint effort. Contact center managers has to evaluate and improve. As an architect, you guys need to improve your technology stuff, like if any exception stuff triggers, how you handle it. So let us trigger one exception. One exception will be there is no case update. So I'm going to go and delete the case update from my CRM. So I will delete it. Now if the user requests for the case update, let's see how the bot behaves. Okay. So same thing. I'm going to get the case updates. And right now there is no case updates. How I can interact with that, or how the bot behaves with me.
One question. Transcripts are all saved, right? So that's basically you're recording everything.
Yes.
Or do you have to enable separately recording?
Yeah, by default is enabled. That's why you can configure not to record things. Then it wouldn't be there.
Okay.
So I'm going to select the case status. So I have a case. So my first API call will be successful. And the second API call will receive unknown. So it goes to unknown. We'll see. Let's see now. So it says this is your case number, and unfortunately the case has no update yet. Let me transfer you to a real agent. Okay. And then it went back to the beginning as well, because that's the last task. While okay, then it disconnects there. Okay, it shouldn't be the case. So it says Okay, unfortunately, I don't, it says I am transferring to a real agent, and then I have an action to jump to reusable task. So it went to the upside one. So I'll put transfer to agent task there so that it transfers. One moment. It's a small logical mistake. Means configuration is right, just that instead of transferring to initial task, it has to go to transfer to agent task. That's it. So now it goes to the agent and it's going to escalate to the agent. So we'll verify that one more time. Then that will be, yeah, anyway, we don't need to test that. What we are looking for is this. Unfortunately, the case has no update yet. Let me transfer you to the real agent. Okay, so any other questions, guys? We properly build an AI-based chatbot with a natural language understanding with 2 API calls along with the CRM integrations. We almost took how many hours? 8 o'clock we started. 5 hours to 5 hours, 10 minutes. All right. Any questions you can ask, or if you have any questions about any other thing, let me see whether I completed or not. What was the agenda? Okay, so I didn't explain this particular flow, right? I'll just quickly explain, but we have done that. I forgot. So this is how it comes, right? Initially, user will be there. User chat with an inbound message flow. That's the one first we created. The message flow will be transferring to a bot flow. So bot flow will interact with the natural language. And when the user input comes for a data action, it creates and goes to a data action, which is an integration. Then it triggers 2 API calls to the Salesforce CRM. I have some writing here, but by mistake yeah. So it comes here and it goes to the Salesforce CRM. Then from Salesforce CRM, what I got is these data: case ID, case number, subject, and description. This is for the first call. Okay, somebody is sending me a message. Guys, please be idle for some time. Let us discuss few things. Yeah. So first API call will get these data. Second API red color call, I will get the red color responses. Then the bot will process that. It goes through the if else conditions accordingly. Then if it is something to transfer to an agent, it triggers a transfer task, and it finally goes to an ACD and eventually to a user. And then user can continue interacting with the inbound flow. Like inbound flow is the connection point. It goes there by default. You don't need to do anything extra. So only thing which I wanted to trigger now is some unknown utterances. That was a question in the beginning, right? So if I go and start with some unknown utterances, let's see how the bot behaves. Okay, so I'll say hi. Welcome to VGBot webinar. Okay. They're asking me, so there are some predefined utterance they are expecting, right? I will say good. Okay, so tell me again, what would you like to do? So they are answering that by default, like they have exception handling in place. It understand, okay, it is not our indents. So let me ask again. So if I type status again now, it takes it, right? So it goes. So you don't need to do any looping for this. A lot of exception, whatever is not there in your utterance, it has a default condition to ask the utterances again. Or in that, tell me what would you like to do. In that you can alter. I can do, tell me what are the things you wanted to do from the below things. So you can again further do that. Those type of exception settings are available in the settings. So if you go to the bot flow, yeah, some of them are in bot flow, event handling.
So it does the keyword matching, correct?
Yeah, it does the keyword matching. But if the bot is not clear about your proper intention, okay. So let's say I will give a partial indent. Okay. So I have a indent called case status command. I have something like existing case. I simply type case there or my case. It's a portion of my utterance. Let's see how that behaves in that way. It's going to double check. So did you mean this? Okay. That is also by default there. So let's say hi. Once again, what is the thing I need to test? My case. Okay. So I don't have an utterance for that. So I'll say my case.
That's in multiple matches, I guess.
Yeah. I think you want to case status indent, right? A portion of it is matching. So it is triggering this particular bot flow settings. I think you want to status indent. Okay. So if you customize that keyword status indent, I think you wanted to check the, oh, sorry, I'm not in the editor window. So let me go to edit window. And sorry guys, we will have 10 more minutes. That's it. I know it's too late. In all the region, it will be too late for me as well. So I think you wanted to check the status of existing case. Is that correct? Done. No looping, nothing. It automatically handles. And the other indent, I think you wanted to transfer to an agent that is like a keyword. So if the portion of utterance is matching, I think you want to chat with a human agent. Is that correct? These are the two things it will ask when the indents are partially matching. And there will be a confidence level as well for the indent to match, which we will see. Come on. Where is that confidence level? I don't exactly remember. I think it's in the queue settings, by the way. I don't recall. I will answer you separately. So there is a confidence level, but I forgot where you can customize that. That confidence level, if you put it to 100%, it's like keyword matching. It is expecting exactly the same indents and utterances. If it is somewhere around 60-70%, partial matching will also take. Default value is 70%, I believe. I don't exactly recall where exactly that settings is, but based on that, it works, that confidence level. So since my confidence level is 70%, a portion of utterance matches will also handle. Now if I say test the same thing, I don't get this weird input like the case status stuff. Let's see that.
You can click on AJ, you can click on that supported language. There you'll find the confidence level. Click on that event and event handling.
Event handling, right? Okay.
No, yeah. Scroll down. Click on that bot flow. I think it was there. In the bot flow. Settings, under settings.
Bot flow, only two things here. Somewhere it is there. I don't recall over my head.
But it was there in voice bot flow.
Yeah, the organization voice bot as well as chatbot, there are slight differences in the settings by the way, including tools as well. But that's okay. I can give you in a separate call. So I will simply say my case again. So let me see if this time what happens. I'll confirm. Okay, I think you wanted to check the status of an existing case, right? It is not like a weird thing. So I also address that. If I say yes, again, by naturally, you will end up in a normal thing. So this is one of the bot which you will be learning as part of the upcoming training. There are 4 tasks which I have implemented in the upcoming training session. So that bot is also available for me to demonstrate. So I'll just quickly show you what are the capabilities of that bot. So if you go to the website again, bot1.html, you can interact with that bot. This bot will also help you to open a case. So let's see that how we can open a case. So let's interact with this bot. And also I'm opening my Salesforce CRM cases here. And I have right now 3 cases, right? So after the bot interaction, I'll see how many cases. So it says, welcome to AJ Bank Virtual Bot Support. I can help you opening a case, checking the status of the case, resetting a debit card pin, then contact with an agent. Out of this, we have successfully implemented 2 and 4. That is enough for the webinar. These are other things are some different logic. So let's see how the open case works. So I'm going to select 1. Then it says, what is your registered contact number? Of course, same. Okay. And then it's going to loop through that. Yes. So it addressing me, hello, Rain Jassim. How? Because that mobile number is registered with the name of Rain Jassim. So it identifies and addressing me, hey, Rain Jassim. There is another API called get contact name based on your mobile number. So I was triggering that internally and getting the name displayed for the chat. So it identifies dynamically who is chatting. So I will be more happier. Okay, I'm a registered customer. What is your case title? So let me create another case. I have issues while logging to banking app. So that's the case title, case description, unable to login since yesterday. Done. And what is your case priority? This is this is called cards. I'm presented with the option which I can select. So I'll go with a medium priority. I can either select that or type medium. Then, okay, your case number has been successfully created, and then bot went back to the beginning. So let us see whether this case got created in the CRM. Okay, so right now in the cases, we were seeing previously 3 cases. It takes some time through if it triggers through API. That's what I have seen in the GUI. It reflects after a while.
So Jasim, what are the debug option for this flow? If something got broken.
Usually debug, what I do is I will just add some comment and debug myself. Okay, where it reaches, right? I can say, okay, you reached at this point. I can add some comment there. There are some user data update as well, but the easy way to customize and troubleshoot bot is that you put some extra condition. For example, but let me just show you this. I'll come to that. So this is the case number that we opened. Okay, I have an issue with logging to net banking app. So without even calling a customer support executive or without even logging into my Salesforce CRM, I properly opened a case by just using chat functionality. But right now there is no authentication, right? If you enter the mobile number correct, it's gonna trigger. But I can implement that OTP flow which I just demonstrated previously, so that when the even before triggering that API call, it will wait for an OTP validation. If the validation is successful, it creates the case. So the opportunities are immense. And the question that you ask, okay, how you troubleshoot? My personal troubleshooting method is like I go to the task and I'll see at what area the bot is reaching. And I will always add a communicate task there saying that, okay, you are at this point. And I'll understand, okay, he reached that point. Then I will further fine tune. Okay, so with that, let me go back to the remaining portion. Yeah, if you wanted to experience the bot, these are the 2 bots, right? One is the OTP bot, which you can try that OTP. Third option will be the OTP. And if you want to this is OTP bot. This is the one opening a case. You need to give the mobile number. Right now, this is not the mobile number, but I'll update after the class. You can test it out. Then, yeah, I didn't introduce myself. My name is Abdul. I'm working as a UC architect. I also handle a lot of training. And so you can read about it. I handle Cisco, Microsoft Teams, and Genesys Training. And the Genesys Training details will be added here. This is my upcoming training. Genesys Contact Center. We talk about Genesys Cloud CX, Advanced Architect Flow, CRM Integration, API, Middleware, Genesys AI, which we almost covered, right? This is, by the way, AI. But again, little more to it, how you do extra actions. Google Dialogflow, Advanced Scripting, like agent scripting, how you do that, which is scheduled to start by 5th of August. And this will be the syllabus. Like I already presented the syllabus. We have the administration reporting and capabilities first, then all the integration part, MFA, all those stuff, then the AI related stuff, and all the training details are available here, date, time, and the syllabus stuff, and who can enroll. So there is a specific section I have explained who can enroll, and then my number will be there. This is available in this link as well as I send you in the WhatsApp chat. And if anybody wants to go with other training like Cisco Cloud Collaboration that talks about Microsoft Teams, WebEx calling, and Microsoft Azure, like Azure Teams and WebEx calling, this is my recorded training. I usually conduct only 1 training in a year. Anyone who comes after that, that will be a recorded session. So I have the recorded session of this particular training, but I'll guide you one-to-one over WhatsApp or call. You can see the syllabus summary here. And another one, Microsoft Teams direct routing, which is like a faster training if you wanted to upskill for direct routing with Ribbon SBC, Cube SBC, AnyNode SBC, and Cisco Cube. Audio codes, Ribbon, Cube, AnyNode. Implement everything with Microsoft Teams with a real lab. All my training with 100% lab oriented. I don't explain anything with the theory or PPT. That is available in Udemy. That's one of the top rated course in Udemy. You can go and purchase from that. Just only 1,000 rupees. It's highly rated in Udemy and can get that. And the 4th one is Advanced Cisco Collaboration, and that we cover CUCM, Unity, IMP, Expressway, Cube, CubeHA, troubleshooting, log reading, SIP analysis, Expressway, MRA, B2B, upgrades, and WebEx. Those ebook is available here. Usually when I go to any training, there will be a detailed ebook that covers all the topic with the theory as well as the screenshots, which I showed you just before, right? This type of thing. What is it? Sorry, just a second, guys. Yeah. So these type of things, there will be a detailed document. So even if you don't have classes, sorry, don't have lab access, anytime if you're preparing for some interview, you can quickly review that. I will have all the flows added, all the steps added with proper guidelines and things. This is CRM integration. We didn't talk much about a Postman, right? But in this we're gonna dig deeper into the Postman things as well. And these are the training which I offer. So to the live one will be Genesys Advanced, which is going to be start on August 5th. And anything related to this training, those links are available here. Salesforce CRM free subscription. Then Salesforce API, we send 2 API calls, right? You can see those commands over here. Then Salesforce API and Postman integration. And these are 2 of my previous webinar, like CUCM and Teams integration. You have the links over here. And WebEx calling local gateway, that is also available. By the way, this particular recording will be also available in my YouTube channel. I will send you the link. This is my channel, which is AJ Labs. You can search for it and all the videos will be available there. And even before wrap up, I need a small feedback. I'll be sending a feedback link in the group. So you guys can rate me about the webinar. So whatever I committed, we covered. The webinar was thinking about implementing a complete chatbot from the scratch. So we started implementing everything. Finally, we have the live chatbot ready. You guys can experience it, but don't send me the customer escalation like chatting with the user. I'll be notified. So I'll be removing that logic, transferring to an agent. I will just disconnect the call so that you can test with this bot unlimited times, plus the bot 2, which is the opening a case stuff, and another bot, bot 1. Bot 2 is there. Bot 2 is nothing but you can verify your OTP stuff. All those things are available in the experience center. So these are the 2 additional bots. Everything will be covered in my regular class. Even more than this, like we're gonna dig deeper into Genesys part. With that being said, any other questions, guys?
How did you bring the bot image in your second lab?
Yeah, good question. So that is actually in a different Genesys org. In that Genesys org, I have something called here. So in this trial org, when I go, I didn't see this option, add a logo option. So there is an actual option there in the admin settings. If you go to the bot, the messenger configuration, there is a section, but in the trial org, I did not see that. That's where in the real bot, you see that bot image, but here, maybe that's a limitation of the trial org. In the messenger configuration, it used to be there, but I did not find that in the trial. That's the reason I don't have that image, but I was here. You see that, not here in the app side. Yeah, AJ webinar bot. Below this, you can see add an image for your bot. Cool.
Okay,
so,
thank you.
Any other questions, guys? I know it's late, but thank you for this.
Yeah, AJ, are you sharing this link, the one which you showed? Like,
it's already there in the group. Yeah. Anything after this, you ping me. I think you are a part of the group, right? WhatsApp group.
Yeah. WhatsApp group, I'm not there. I'm not in the WhatsApp group.
Okay. Then how can I send you this?
On this chat group.
Okay. Let me just put something there. Okay.
I'll add your number.
Okay. Just chat with me.
Yeah, this is the first session I'm attending your chat.
Okay. 1 second. Where is the WebEx chat? I also have to tell you a few more things, but initiate a chat, by the way, then I can respond to you.
Oh, it's on this group, right? Hi.
Yeah, but he's not a member of that WhatsApp group. What I will do is, I will send you the invite to the group. Copy.
Put your number in the group.
Yeah, I just pasted the WhatsApp chat group link. Just follow that, then you will be a member of that group. Further, you can connect me from there. And also, since you asked, I'll put my number +91 859 0101
So,
859.
Jasim,
Yeah.
This session was on the Genesys trial account, correct?
Yeah, it's purely completed on Genesys trial account. Yes.
On the actual account on the 5th August, it will be on the trial or it will be on premium?
Depends. Like I said, I'm trying for a real account, but no difference in trial account or a real account. Only the outbound thing will not work in trial. Rest everything exactly the same. I'll see. I'm working with a different organization to get that. I have access in my org, but I cannot use it because of compliance things. But I'll see. If you're not able to get it, there will be a trial version. Of course, you will get the lab during the session as well as post 1 or 2 months. As long as I can maintain that will be there.
Okay.
And by the way, yeah.
AJ, the training which starts on 5th August is based only on Genesys, or would it contain, would it basically have WebEx
No,
as
only
well?
this one. This is the training content. So initially we'll have the complete Genesys administration, reporting and implementation. Then the integration type. Few of things we already covered, Salesforce and other thing. But in real training, it wouldn't be covered this fast. It'll be proper way you understand, you do it. Then we also have the AI portion. It's only Genesys training, but it's not a basic Genesys training. We will go advanced level of Genesys. So that's going to happen on 5th of August. So you guys can enroll. You can start messaging me. We will. I will have a separate group for confirmed students. We'll take it from there. It's gonna be really fun. The way I explain, exactly the same way how I am explaining right now. Now you understand how I take it seriously. So the same thing. I'll be professional in that way. You get what you paid for, but you also get something like this. So all my training will have a proper channel like this way. You get access to this document, something like this, and all the recordings will be available here. Anything related to the training, all will be posted here. So even after completing the training, you are not left behind. You have the video access, recording access, other documents access, anything related to this thing, Genesys will be available in this portal. And also I will guide you to how to market yourself LinkedIn and prepare some resume, generic the job preparation strategies like studying your interviewer even before the interview. All those type of things will be covered in the regular classes.
Any exam support like documents?
This document will help you for everything, right? This is one of the detailed document what I have prepared for Genesys. It pretty much covers everything starting from the introduction. These many topics are there. Yeah.
Does Genesys has any certification?
Genesys Genesys got professional certification as well as architect. They have different certification. I'll also cover what are the certification. You can go for professional as well as architect once you complete this thing. But something exam something that's something you have to study and prepare on your own. But this will help you to clear that. And moreover, any interviews happening in India today, I will guarantee that you can clear with this knowledge for sure.
And Abdul, one more thing. Would we have lab access during the trainings?
Yeah, like I said, right, during the training, you will have lab access, and 1 month of the post training, you will have lab access.
Okay.
And it is, again, I will try my best to get continuous support, but there is a lot of consequences for them, means complications for getting the Genesys account. So if it possible, there will be continuous. We have a community. Let me also bring that community here. There is something called AJ Labs Tech Community. It's only for registered students, means previous students. My ex-students are collaborating here. It's really active group. They are discussing so many things here, like UC and CC related stuff. So you will get access to it, and we conduct a lot of free webinars, a lot of brainstorming sessions. It's all free. So you will be a member of that community once you are a student.
And one more thing, what would be the timings of the training?
It is available here. It's on 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Indian Standard Time, Monday to Friday.
So how many, one month, right?
25 days, 25 working days. Yeah, it comes, weekend will be off, like we only take Monday to Friday. So it comes altogether 30-35 days maximum. And referral program is there. Like if you can refer any one of your colleagues, you will get 2,000 rupees reduced on your fees. It is not USD, it is Indian rupees 20,000. That's it. So this guide also.
Is there going to be polling for the time like you did for this webinar?
No, but I myself not available for, I'm working in EMEA hours. I'm not a full-time trainer. It's only my passion. So I'm working in EMEA shift hours. So exactly after this training, I have to jump into my shift. So no option. It's only available in morning time. But you can enroll for the recorded session. There's no difference in price, right? If you are not able to attend the live session, so you enroll for the live classes itself. But just that after a period of time, you'll be watching the video. Maybe it is morning, you're watching in the evening. But you can ask questions, interact with others, interact with me. I'll be there to guide you, and I'll be taking care of your anything related to the Genesys part. And again, I'm committing that it's not like a student-trainer relation. There also you can see if you go to Google and search for AJ Labs Training, you will see my training feedback. Thank God I'm still in rating 5. That means none of the students who attended in the past, they never felt that of waste of time. So you can review my things, study me. You have 1 month of time to understand what am I doing, all those things. Once you're comfortable, ping me. You have time till August 3rd to confirm. Then we'll take it ahead. It's really going to be a fun session just like this. We will have a lot of knowledge pack session will be coming in. All right. Any questions about live class?
Oh, there is a question in the chat. If agent decline the chat, can we notify the user?
Yes, of course. Yeah, like I said, it's completely customizable. You give me a scenario, we will implement it. That's how the Genesys stuff. It's all logic, right? I think, okay, if disconnect,
Yes.
okay, I need to send something. So of course, when it disconnect, it'll be a API will be triggering in the backend. That's called Genesys Platform API. We fetch that, then send the user there. Okay, somebody rejected, and then yeah, that way you can design. So there is no limit. It's a limitless platform, all in your hands, and you will be an architect. Most of the time, what I have seen in Genesys is that they understand the first portion. A lot of guys from the Genesys background, they understand all these things. When it comes to the integration and AI part, they will say, okay, one of the partner has done it, and we haven't done it. One of my senior has done it. I'm going to break that. You will be able to literally do any kind of API integration, because we have an open API integration also. Like we are integrating with a normal server which we created. So you understand how that API response has to be captured. That middleware thing I'm talking about, right? SQL database with a middleware. So here you will build the entire middleware server talking to the the Genesys, and then taking that into the flow. We're going to cover not only the bot flow, we're going to cover advanced flows like showed you some checkbox for the premium customer, right? When the checkbox is checked on the CRM, how the data will be manipulated in Genesys, and if it is unchecked, how the data flows happens. And we also do voice bots and chat bots. So it's going to be a completely advanced flows. I'm not a fan of creating a flow saying that, okay, you call this number, getting into a queue and sending to a agent. That's not my take. We will have really advanced flows, which is almost equivalent or above equivalent to the enterprise flows.
So just a question on Twilio.
Yeah.
For security, you have written multi-factor authentication OTP flow.
Yes.
Which, using Twilio services.
Yes.
So apart from that, Genesys Cloud incorporates Twilio. Anything other than that?
Any service you give me which can capable of doing that OTP functionality, all those driven based on API. So when API comes, it's like a universal language. You can interact with. Right now, I have taken Twilio because it is. I felt it is okay. I understand Twilio. So when Sai said, okay, there is a functionality called OTP stuff, we implemented that. But you give me XYZ a vendor who can do the OTP stuff, we can easily do that. That's not a big deal. It's all related to API. Once you understand the API, how you build and send it, then it's open. You can go and interact with anything. You can even make a call, like when it's authenticates, you can trigger a call to the agent, and the agent has to attend the call and say that, okay, I am the real user. Then you can continue the flow. So it's all about API. Only thing we should know, we should be comfortable working on the API and some of the backend technology, which I will cover. You don't need any coding background. That will be covered as part of the training.
Okay, just to put it in another way, Cloud, Genesys Cloud, they are mostly asking for Twilio experience. So this is the only thing what they are looking for. That was
I wouldn't say that. Twilio is just like they also have their own contact center solution, Twilio contact center solution. I never experienced on that. But they also offer programmable voice, programmable SMS. This particular thing falls under programmable SMS. It's just a feature from Twilio. We just used it. But it's not like a Twilio training. That's not our focus. It's a Genesys training. So like Amazon Lex we are doing, right? Amazon Lex is a chatbot, and Google Dialogflow is another chatbot. So we are integrating all of that. So it's not like a Lex training. Lex training is altogether a different one. But I will develop a basic flow, at least these type of flows, and then interact that Lexboard and Google Dialogflow engine into the Genesys. So that's how it is. We have integration with Salesforce, Amazon Lex, Amazon, Google, and Twilio. 5 companies will be integrating just to use some of their services. That's it.
Okay. Jasim, I saw that Genesys syllabus in that SQL database and middleware.
Yes.
So SQL database, do we need to install on the local machine, or
no? I will offer you this thing, right? The control. Where is this thing? So this particular web server will be available for you in the control panel hosting. I have a database. You don't. It's all cloud based. Will be purely on the cloud based.
Okay.
So I'll give you a database created in the cloud with a credential, so you can work with that. Just to see that, okay, in the website itself, but I don't recall the password. Here, if I go, there is an option to log into the DB access. I just added the link here.
Okay.
Admin. Oh no, invalid credential. I don't recall the credential. It's been some time I deployed that. But that will actually fetch the data from the database and display it there. It's purely from the cloud. It's everything hosted in the cloud, no dependency in on-premise. And anything related to this, like a Salesforce CRM, I will facilitate everything. Even database, a web server for hosting your middleware. Like even you have a dedicated folder, you can put your things in. This is a web server, so you have a students middleware. Like if you're developing a middleware, when you log in, you will get access to this folder. And student website, you need. I myself created as an Abdul. Then I have a box here, and then I can put my HTML file there. Like that, you will really experience, even if you don't have to set up a web server. But like you're okay to risk some 1,000, 2,000 rupees, you can also gain the same thing, whatever I'm doing. For both, I will be supporting you.
What is the exactly middleware means those?
Yeah, in simple terms, suppose you need to fetch a data in a SQL database. Okay, so Genesys Cloud will not have any SQL direct integration. There's no plugin to integrate SQL. So SQL will not support API. So you need a guy who can translate an API call into a DB call, like a run SQL command, those type of things. That is what the middleware. So we're going to develop the complete middleware on our own. Then we integrate. That's called web data action in Genesys. And that we will understand more about it. I'll explain what is database actions and other things.
Okay.
We are doing the in deep like the API and Postman, right?
Yeah. Now itself.
Because I am looking up that one.
Yeah. So if you ask me about the API thing, let me just show you one example here. Where is the? If you look at the left-hand side, that's where the content is organized. Genesys Cloud integration. So in the integration, this is Amazon Connect integration. Let's go to API stuff. Yeah. So how API is configured, even with the diagrams and proper explanation. This is called Genesys Platform API. So we have an option to add contacts in Genesys itself. So how you get the contacts, added data when a call coming in. Then how you integrate that with the Genesys API Explorer. Then
the
eventually.
Meaning of here, like this API we learn, we are using any contact center, right?
Yeah.
Any other platform like the NICE or any.
Yeah.
Cisco
That wouldn't be a
any.
difficult. There might be slight syntax mistake.
Yeah.
I can give you like you're driving a manual car.
The concept is clear.
Yeah. I'm giving you an automatic car. So anyone who drives the manual car, they can easily take the automatic and understand the gear system and go. That's it. And so.
Postman, how is we are go for that one is also in deep, right?
Yeah, authentication and authorization. 1 second. There is a detail section coming in data action, not data action. Configure OAuth, connect Postman tool. Yeah, here is the thing. How you connect the Postman, even cloning and forking a request from the official guide with this, and then sending the request, sending your first request, get your token created, then basically I was talking to you about there are different URLs for different region, right? So when you send API, what are the region you need to consider? It's pretty deep. It's not like a overview training, I would say. It has all those things which is required for industry for another 10 years, which I can guarantee. And if you know any of my past training,
that's we required. I required that one.
Yeah. And if you know any of my past training, we usually go deeper. There is nothing like overview training, but the fast track batch which I handled for the direct routing, that was a fast track because we completed in 1 week. That syllabus itself is a fast track. But if you look at my Teams training and Cisco training, that was pretty deep. So this is also going to be much more deeper. Then one flow.
You were able to complete in 1 month, correct?
Yeah, I have track record of completing all the complicated training in 1 month. It wouldn't be fast as you think. You will properly get all the things answered. You will properly get the time to do your lab as long as you are committed to spend 2-3 hours every day.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And Abdul, one more thing, like today's market, we have 2 to 3 flavors for Genesys, like CX and cloud. So
yeah, I am a cloud fan. The pure cloud or the pure engage previous versions. Genesys itself is discontinuing that. They are going towards Genesys Cloud CX. So moving forward, there will be only one product in the market called Genesys Cloud CX, which is the cloud solution of Genesys. The Engage, and there was another one called, I don't exactly recall what's the name. We can deploy it in AWS and Azure. All those things, they are discontinuing, and Genesys itself is promoting only the Cloud CX option, which I am going to cover. So when we are learning, investing time, money, and energy, it should be something futuristic thing. So Cloud CX is the future one. So we will be covering only this. But I will touch base on the other products as well.
So CX can be implemented any of cloud, right? For AWS or any.
It's not in AWS cloud. altogether it's already implemented. We just consume the software. That's it. You don't need to select which cloud or nothing. We just need to consume the software. It's already take managed solution. It's a managed solution, not like an infrastructure you build on cloud. It's already built. You select which region you want. You go on.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Anything else? Okay.
Can we
What
do
is
secure flow in messaging or is just with the voice?
Secure flow in messaging, I haven't tried, but I'm just building this, right? So I have one more month. So I'm going to add few more additional industry standard topics over there.
Okay. Thank you.
There's another
And
question?
you'll be covering the voice bot part, right? Like
Of course.
it'll be,
Yeah.
I believe,
Voice bot is simple.
how we call any bank. So most of the time we're talking to a voice bot. So I believe we'll be using Lex or something like that to
No,
have the.
Genesys itself, we have Genesys voice bot configuration. The same option, my plan is this way. Initially, we set up the IVR. Then I will translate that IVR into a voice bot. You don't have a real agent there. Voice bot will be answering. Then I translate that to a chat. So this is our flow. So whatever things you are doing right now, right? Opening a case, requesting a case update, you can literally do that over the call. Initially, you will be doing that by navigating through the menu options. So you can correlate how the contact center is evolving. Like initially IVR and agent solution, then a voice bot and an agent solution. Now voice bot, chat bot and agent solution. So that's how the flow is coming in. We're going to literally do the same way by architecting things together.
Okay,
So we'll do it in step by step, right?
Yeah.
All the things.
I demonstrate, this is my example. I demonstrated everything step by step. So the training going to be like exactly the same way as well.
Because we need to this training end to end.
Yeah, my trainings are end to end. So today I committed for the webinar. You will learn the complete chatbot deployment. I hope you learned end to end everything, and I demonstrated everything in front of you, starting from scratch. I came up with a blank website, even for web hosting things, and I demonstrated. So everything will be end to end. I don't hide things. It's like I have seen a lot of guys are, if they know something technically, they will keep it unique and separate, and then they keep it himself. I'm not a fan of that. As long as I'm learning things every day, my plan is to conduct only one training. So today we are conducting Genesys. Maybe in next year, and my frequency is every year, next year I'll be doing something else. So I don't need to worry about who is learning this, who is learning that. As long as I am focused on evolving things in the new way, I'm not hiding anything. Anything that I know, I explain and I deliver. This shows an example, right? I send you a document of a complete flow. It's really hard to get from the internet. If you wanted to implement such a way, nobody gonna give you the URLs and commands and everything just like this. So I don't have anything to hidden. I'm always transparent in terms of training. So I will maintain that professionalism. You just come and join and experience that training.
AJ, so you will be like that voice part, right? So first you'll be building the voice element,
Yes.
the voice channel, or you'll be like going for the bot channel,
No.
right?
So if you look at the screen, I think my screen is still shared, right?
Yes.
Okay. So if you look at the screen, here we build the basic contact center stuff like queue, IVRs and all of that. Okay. In queue call flow, common module and all of that. So pretty much once you complete this, you are like a contact center engineer. You know how to do things. But comparatively, that is an easiest part. If you know one contact center, building a queue, sending a call to the queue, navigating through the IVR, it's not a big deal at all, right? Anybody can do that. So you will learn that. That's already a part of the training. I'm not skipping that. So once we complete that, this is your advanced level. So you go with integrations and you go with AI related stuff. So that's where market is looking for more engineers and more opportunities. So this will help you in that category. So any training, if you go to even Genesys, they don't discuss about these two things. Okay, they will only cover administration, implementation, and reporting part. Then they will say, okay, the other part you need to manage with some partner or something. So I'm gonna break that into pieces. We'll study everything from scratch.
Okay, one more question here. So
Have
you'll be
any plan
integrating
to
with
conduct a
WhatsApp?
Cisco Cloud Contact Center?
Yeah, so I'll answer the WhatsApp thing first. So the chatbot that you developed, right? The bot thing, you can literally integrate that with the WhatsApp. It's a site forward integration, but you need to have a business WhatsApp number for that. I'm trying it. If I'm able to deliver that, I can show you how to integrate that. It's not a big deal. Only the channel you need to select. Now I selected web channel. It's a web chat. Instead, if I connect that to a WhatsApp integration, the chat behave the same way in WhatsApp.
Okay, so we can like, because I believe today we see lots of implementation of this WhatsApp channel for the customer service perspective, right?
Yeah, the logic is the same way. just that we build a wrapper in the beginning, inbound messaging chat, right? Inbound message flow. Instead of that message flow, you need to address that through a WhatsApp. That's it. Rest of the things you configure here itself. I'm trying for that. We need a business number and a registered business name to get the WhatsApp business account. Then only you can register. But
so be adding that in the course.
If I'm able to successfully complete that, I'll be adding it for sure.
Abdul, can we go for evaluation form and the survey?
Yes, that is there. Before that, let me answer the WebEx call. There was someone asking about WebEx contact center. What is that question? Question is gone. Okay. Anyway, WebEx contact center is not covered. Our full syllabus is this. If you guys go through the syllabus first, if you're comfortable, then we can discuss. And survey, those are default options available. When you complete something, we can send a survey to the customer, ask them to fill in. Yeah, that is a part of this.
Yeah, evaluation form create and everything.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
And reporting as well is come to there, right?
Yeah, reporting is there.
Reporting and transcript enable, how can do that?
Analytics and reporting, and we are even building the dashboards, how to build an app. Not just like a basic option. I'm going always in deep. If you look at the agent scripting part, right? I spent a lot of time to build that. This is enterprise level agent script. Let me just quickly show you that.
So Ajay, if you put the WhatsApp part, right, so you'll be updating in the WhatsApp group, or how it is, like, or you'll be updating that.
To be honest, for WhatsApp part, you don't need any training. Okay, it's a small click and configuration, but of course, if it is adding, yeah, it'll be part of my training. You can ping me whether I'm able to complete it. Just that some dependencies are there for external WhatsApp, so that's where I'm working on. If I'm able to complete that, of course, that'll be a part of the training. Default. If I'm not able to, because usually I don't get time, days I'll be busy, weekends I'll have some other thing. Only whenever I have time, I usually explore things. If I am able to successfully complete that, that will be there for sure.
Sure, okay. And when this video will be uploaded, like on YouTube, how long, like after this call?
Yeah, I just need to get the time to upload, that's it. Will be there. I will send you the link. Maybe today, I will keep it in upload, but it is like all 5-6 hours of duration, right? So I don't know how long it will process. When I upload video, I'll get the link immediately, but it'll say video is getting processed. So that processing time will be the only delay. From my side, there won't be any delay. Yeah, I was talking about the agent script. This the sample that you see on the screen, which is like an agent script example, which takes a lot of action. Like instead of without even logging into Salesforce CRM, you are opening case, you are getting the case update, you are launching the CRM, and my flow. It's literally built from the scratch. Like initially I have this layout. I say, okay, this is how we design the layout. Then adding each values in each layout. Okay, so this layout, it goes there. Then you need to add sui components. It's pretty detailed. It's not like suddenly I'm coming and showing you a script. We're going to spend a lot of time on all these things. And I will make sure that you will be comfortable on developing any type of script or any type of flows and anything in Genesys. This is what my guarantee. So yeah, finally we will have the complete fully functional. Yeah, see how much screenshot I have added here to do all these functionalities and tasks. It's
so Jasim, do we have option to design this layout?
Yes, yes. So in the beginning you see, right, you yourself designed it. This is just a flow I have taken in Visio. Then what are the flow means box you need, like horizontal container and vertical container, and I place the horizontal and vertical containers. Then here is my initial plan. This is the planning I am doing on a regular Visio or a Word file itself. Then I'm going to convert that gradually into Genesys. This is the Genesys interface. I'm going to put the banner, then start doing the horizontal components and vertical containers, and then start building the flow. So once you complete this, you will get something like a complete functioning agent script, which will be used for attending the call. Like when a call comes in, it will properly show you who is calling, what was his previous case, how you can open a case on behalf of that user. All those type of things will be there. So you will be pretty confident. I have basic scripting as well. This will make you comfortable on the scripting. Once we learn the basic scripting, we'll go into the advanced one. So basic scripting will only design this. So in the advanced one, we're going to go deep and then build. All these are the variable data that we use, and we will build the entire stuff together. So basic means the first box, advanced means rest of the boxes.
Okay.
Are you talking about screen pop?
Yes, yeah. So in agent scripting, basically screen pop.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Like it's a third party, like
it's not third party, it's a
third
Genesys
party pop-up is a
No, Genesys itself offers all the type of pop-up, not like UCCX world where you need to define something from the external. Genesys provide all the fully functional screen pop. You just need to call. If it is third party, you just need to trigger a web link. So that link will be taking care of the opening the pop. So that is
Okay,
also
that
possible.
is all you saw to
The third party I don't have.
do that one, right?
Genesys,
How
yeah.
can do that one third party?
Third
Mostly
party I
whatever
don't.
is enterprise.
Yeah, third
But no,
party
no,
I don't
just
have.
showing the link where exactly we do that one.
That I will show you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So any questions? I hope it is complete.
Okay.
And
Currently,
India
what
is
is
one.
the Genesys architect salary?
it's a good question. I would say if you have like 7-8 years of experience, you can easily demand 30 lakhs plus in India. Not the administration part, you pretty much understand the architects and other thing. That's the standard right now. It may go up and down, it may not, it may go, yeah, depends. Yeah, that's like 7-8 years, 30 lakhs plus Indian rupees will be the average, which I have seen from my circle. Yeah, if your package is above that, it's okay. You don't need to study. But still, this is the future, right? The telephony and other solutions are coming to a saturation. Like once you implement, for example, we recently migrated, it's not me, one of my friend, he recently migrated from Cisco telephony to Microsoft Teams, and they are done. They are saying we don't have any issue. Everything is going on the flow. We don't have that much job previously, no DB replication issues, no audit log issues, nothing. So it's saturated. We don't have much work there. But when it comes to contact center, right, there will be that type of logic and innovation always happening. You will be always working on one or the other thing to improve the contact center, adding a lot of logic, and moreover, today any company, any product-based company, they cannot live without a proper contact center CX experience, customer experience. As long as they're not delivering the experience, imagine you are purchasing a product, you got it and it's not working, you call the customer care, they are saying, okay, you press 1 for this, press U for this, you navigated multiple times, finally you ended up without any help. Will you recommend that product? And we always work based on a recommendation, right? Today I use one product, I'll always recommend it. Otherwise, I'll go and open platform, I will say, okay, this product is not even worth. So companies are heavily investing on that. As long as they are product companies or product-based company or service-based companies, if they wanted to maintain that customer relation, the contact center product will be always there. It's not like something we can replace. So it's a good time to be in. This is not recently, it was there in the market, but recently it got a lot of popularity.
What about Zoom Contact Center? Have you heard about it?
I have seen that, but I never experienced it. Yeah, it's all cloud-based contact center. It works one or the other way. The only pick I choose Genesys because they are Gartner first. That's the only thing.
Yeah,
One question technically.
Yeah.
Can we look at the flow, where exactly the flow is going to run for any interaction?
Okay.
Like, if you, I'm not sure if you're aware of UCC, because in UCC, in the scripts, you can monitor.
Yeah, we can see that we have interaction flows. So in performance workspace, if you go, we will wind up, guys. Okay, I hope this will be the last question.
Can we not see a live flow in the, how many interactions came? Like, in UCC, you have scripting, right? In script, you can monitor in ICM scripting.
Oh, like you're saying live debugging, like you go and inspect and go. That is the one you're talking?
Yeah, when UCC call flows, you can actually see number of calls that came to that particular node, 40 calls, and then it went to the greeting. Then how many got failed or went to the error.
That's all about the reporting, quality and analysis. Reporting and analytics. It will have. I can guarantee that it is having more than UCC for sure. Okay.
No, but it's not a report analytics. That's different. But this is an actual flow you can see in the flow chart.
In the flow chart, okay. I am not aware about. I'll answer you separately. Let me just note.
In script, we can see how many calls are hitting on the scripts.
Yeah, on the script, every node, how many calls went to which node, and which went to the error mode, which went to the failed node, which went to
where the calls are failing on which node. Like
so that's in voice.
Facilitated UCCE.
Yeah. I'll do that. I will get you the answer. Right now, the answer I don't know, but I'll get you that answer.
No problem. Thank you, sir.
I believe it's kind of monitoring what he's talking about, right?
Yeah. That's monitoring. Yeah, that's very helpful.
In the dashboard, you see that one, EMAT using for the dashboard, and you see that one.
Okay.
EMIT, sorry, not EMIT, and adopt that one, and that dashboard, you see of how many calls come in, how many fell, and whatever you required, you just configure on that one in dashboard, and you.
I will explore that and I'll get you the answer. Of course, the unanswered
that.
question will be always answered here. Maybe I need a day of two. Those things will be appear here. And this link is always available. I will send you the link and the document also in the group after the call. So just go ahead and explore it, feel yourself, experience, and then if you are comfortable for joining the upcoming one, just connect me. With that being said, thanks a lot for all your time. We have 63 live attendees right now in 2 a.m. Thanks a lot for the trust.
It was
And
300.
Yeah, it was beginning 300.
Yeah, 300.
Yeah.
300.
Thanks a lot and
Take care.
stay
Thank you.
connected. Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
See you guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, man. Have a good
Thank
one.
you.
Appreciate.
Thank you
Bye,
guys.
Jay.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.